you should subscribe for more RWBY videos. This is our RWBY live analysis. So we are streaming, and like every week, I must check and make sure that we are streaming.
I was about to say, before you checked it, that's the smoothest opening we've ever had. Normally, you're like fumbling around in the dark, like, are we streaming?
Are we streaming?
Are people watching?
I mean, I'm just doing it because, like, that'll be the first thing that they see in the actual, like, video version of this, right? So, we'll just make sure that we're streaming. Hopefully we're streaming on YouTube. I mean, I do see, the live, like, in YouTube, but I don't see it in YouTube. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
But yeah, okay, so it looks like we are live. Hello, guys.
That's not the enthusiasm that this episode requires. This episode requires, like, a very, like, downtrodden, like,
This episode was a trip. You look so gorgeous. Thank you.
You
So what I will explain...
They were talking to me.
What I will explain is, I don't know if you guys know, but it is my birthday on Monday, and it is Saturday as we are recording. So that's why I'm all dressed up. I'm dressed up because I dress up on my birthday, and so I'm not cosplaying this week. I am myself. So
Sure.
I'm dressed up as
Your
me.
normal self just wears tiaras and
I mean, the self that I feel
jewelry.
deep inside my heart. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Deep inside my heart, I wear clothing that makes it difficult for me to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
That's who fundamentally you are as a person.
But yeah, that is why I'm dressed up, because it is my birthday. I'm turning 21, which is a big thing in the US, but it's not a big thing here because we can drink at 19. So yeah, it's a birthday.
You can buy weed now, I think.
No, I think that was 19 too.
No,
so,
I think it's 21.
I don't think so. I think
we also
it depends.
have legal weed in Canada.
Yeah, but either way, it's not like a milestone birthday. I know in the US it's like a milestone, like, get fucked up type of birthday, but it's not.
It's not like the bars were open anyways. So
yeah, and so I just
There's
decided, you know, we're not gonna have my birthday, like, out this year, so I'm just gonna dress up. Now, I'm just posting the tweet to make sure everyone knows that we are live. And yeah, Hunter, do you want to keep an eye on the chat whilst I have your birthdays? Thank you, guys.
Everyone's agreeing that this chapter was really fucked.
Yes.
And yes, we can drink at 19.
Yes, we're in Canada. I don't know if you guys know
I think
that.
it's actually 18 in Quebec, too.
Yeah, it's 18 in Quebec.
And Alberta, I think.
Yeah. So that's Canada for you guys.
Yeah, no, this is why fundamentally we're a better country than America.
I'm losing it right now. Yeah, like, guys, you guys don't understand. This episode was fucking crazy.
I think that's the most, like, violently we've reacted to an episode of RWBY, I think, like, ever.
Yeah,
I think so
too. I think that was one of our best reactions, like, of all time.
Because it was a lot of screaming. I don't think we were, because we weren't doing reactions.
The tweet has been sent.
We weren't doing reactions in volume
4. No, we were not.
Or 4 or volume 3. So we weren't around the last time there was, like, deaths on RWBY.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time that happened, other than Lion. Yeah. Who the fuck cares about Lion?
Happy birthday, Calxiyn! We got you emotional trauma! It's so true!
Emotional trauma and a really, really long RWBY vacation.
Yes. Oh, yeah, so we should talk about this before we get started. So if you guys don't know, they said after Christmas, so there's gonna be an episode on the 19th, and usually they take a 1 week or 2 week break for Christmas. This week, they're taking a 6 week
this year.
Yeah, this year they are taking a 6 week break, which means after episode 7, the next episode 8, will not be until February 6th, and I'm still coping because, like,
and there's
judging
16
by
episodes, right?
what happened at this episode, there's 14. Judging by what happened in this episode, like, we are going to be, like, cliffhangered to the 9s, if that makes sense. Like, it is going to be crazy. So yeah, guys, just keep that in mind, that we only have 2 more episodes left after this one before, like, a very long and dark January hiatus, right?
What sucks is because normally, like, we're on vacation, like, winter break at that time, and so it's really easy for us to react to RWBY because we have nothing else going on. Now we're gonna do I mean, it's fine. We've managed with it, but, like, now we're gonna have to do RWBY stuff during both of our exam seasons.
Yeah, so I talked about that yesterday. If you guys didn't watch our video yesterday, I talked about that, and I'm like, I understand why.
Oh, it's totally understandable.
understandable.
I'm not really upset.
But, like, Usually, Hunter and I do RWBY during exams, and after exams we're done, we're free, it's fine. This time we have to do it during both of our exams, and I need to graduate from university this year. So, right, no pressure, but anyway.
It does sort of feel like, I don't know, I understand that this is a problem that only 99.99999% of people who watch RWBY have.
I mean, I don't know, like, other people have exams, though, but, you know, it's just
30
minutes to watch the episode.
And not,
they don't need to, like, work at it, you know.
Not like a 8-hour, like, over 2 days investment of time.
But yeah, so now that you guys know that, just a reminder that that is happening. So we only have 2 more episodes left before the big hiatus. And holy fuck, bro. Was this an episode? I cannot wait. Okay, so if you guys want to see our reaction, it is up for YouTube membership members and it is up for patrons. This, like, guys, this was the reaction like no other. I'm so serious. Like, we laughed, we cried, we blew the party popper. It was fucking fantastic. But yeah, let's get into this episode.
Until it got really sad.
Well, yes.
I think that was an inappropriate placement of the party popper.
But we were, we'll talk about where we blew the party popper, but that was our condition, right? Like, seeing Taiyang and Sun and Neptune and stuff, and Coffee, like, Coffee was, like, included, but, like, the Raven Watch party popper. Taiyang wasn't on it, but we included Taiyang in there as well.
Okay, well, we don't have a party popper that says Raven Watch.
No.
We've decided that the one that was, like, the catch-all is now the Raven Watch
Probably. We've, like, moved around the party popper situation.
This one says Team Sun and Team Coffee
Yeah, we
return.
blew it at Team Sun, right? And Taiyang was there, and Glinda was there. Like, it was great, so I can't wait for you guys to see the party popper, because it was a moment, guys. It was a fucking moment.
4 more to go.
But yeah, and so I like this scene, because Penny's just in the dust mine, and she's just like, that doesn't seem like a very good idea.
I didn't think that this is how it worked. I thought that they would load all the dust on the thing, and it would just supercharge it like a rocket.
Thank you, Angelique, for becoming a YouTube membership member. So,
sorry, yeah, continue.
Sorry. I just wanted to say thank you. It's a very nice birthday present to see all you guys in the chat and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a difference between a good idea and our best idea.
Which is hilarious.
And so I thought that was so funny, but it's true though, right? Like that's
wrong.
That's life, bro. Like this is their only idea. This is their only option. So yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, guys, seeing Glinda in 2020. I feel that nutty, absolutely
that's
crazy.
like a big like uploading your assignment or posting your assignment for school. Like, this isn't my best idea. But
you know, we have no choice. Yeah, sadly we don't have time for much else. So yeah, so we're just exploding that dust mine. Okay, so
also, how the hell did he get from all the way up to the top?
I don't know. I think I
still think that his suit can like fly around.
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to be Whitley in this suit.
This is so fucking funny. If you guys watched our prediction video, like for the volume as a whole, if that makes sense, we did like a bingo card, and the bingo card said that Whitley would get a mech suit. Hunter was adamant that Whitley would help defend the manor with a mech suit, but now fucking Maria has the mech suit, bro.
We later see her kick serious ass too.
Oh my god.
So arguably didn't even need it. Well,
Hunter was
needed
so
it to lift heavy
close,
shit.
bro. Like you were really close.
Yeah.
But not close enough to get that bingo. We'll have to look at our bingo cards like one day and see what we've gotten so far, because I genuinely like just forgot.
Are we making a bet of who wins?
The bingo card thing was just like to put all our ideas on like a page.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't really like a competitive bingo, but I'm a little competitive. Cal,
I haven't noticed.
After seeing the distress signal, do you think that Team Sun will be coming to Atlas? We'll talk about that a little later. I think it's more likely for Taiyang and Raven to go.
I also think Ilia,
maybe the White Fang.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we'll see them this season, because the thing is, like, this is happening over the course of 24 hours, right? And so I feel like it would take a while for them to come. So I feel like, if anything, Raven and Taiyang can come there the fastest, whereas to get from Vacuo to Atlas, or even Menagerie to Atlas, well, I think that Ilia maybe in Mistral, I don't know, because Gira was supposed to be taking over the school or something, like taking care of the school. So I feel like that it would make more sense for Ty and Raven to show up in this season anyway. But yeah, season 9, like, we've heard that the Vacuo arc is happening, but we're taking a detour. So what that detour is, that's what we're sort of, like, curious about the wrong sassy shorty got the mech. That's so funny. But yeah, I think that Maria and Tai Yang are coming for sure. I think that Hunter's prediction was like...
You mean Raven and Tai Yang?
Yeah, what did I say?
You said Maria and Tai Yang.
Yeah, Raven
Maria's
and Tai Yang. Maria's already here. Yeah, Raven and Tai Yang.
It's the easiest one for them to come up
Exactly.
here.
It makes the most sense, right? And Tai Yang already saw the broadcast.
I do think Ilia and them are going to show up maybe later in that.
Maybe even next season.
Because I think next season, whatever Volume 9 looks like, it's going to be kind of like Volume 4 or Volume 6, and that it was a kind of in-between geographical locations.
Yeah, and I feel like that, you know, I feel like Raven will go to Tai to talk about this, to talk about what they just saw, and then they'll both go together and transport maybe to Yang. And I feel like that would sort of help get Juniper out of their current project. I guess I shouldn't call them Juniper, but Yang, Jean, and Ren. But now they have a convenient river to get back to the city, so don't worry, guys.
Boat?
Like they have a convenient what do you call it?
Forbidden
landmark on how to get back to Atlas and Mantle, right?
Strawberry jam.
Yeah.
River, I suppose.
I guess
we're gonna. I don't know.
right?
I have theories about that one.
But yeah, so we're sitting on a couple 100 tons of thrust, so that was fun.
I feel like it's a couple thousand tons of thrust.
Maybe,
but okay.
But yeah, so this is Pietro's whole plan. I feel like we don't really need to talk about this. We saw that the plan succeeded, right?
I mean, because like when it went off perfectly without a hitch, because when has anything bad ever happened in Amity?
I mean, it did go up eventually. So, but yeah, so I'm your father, and I'm telling you that you belong on Amity, and so I feel like that was interesting, because Maria says, don't you think Penny has enough people telling her what to do? And we'll come back to that later.
I also find it interesting that normally Penny calls Pietro Dad, but that time she said Sir. And I'm beginning to think that she picked up the Sir thing from Ironwood.
I agree.
And the Dad thing from...
And it's an interesting contrast in how Pietro lets Penny ultimately, like, live her own life at the end of this episode, and then how Ironwood, like, controls her. So it's a nice contrast between how Pietro feels about Penny and how Ironwood sees Penny. And, like, Ironwood obviously, like, takes away her autonomy, whereas Pietro ultimately, like, encourages it in this episode. And so that was fun. That was funky fresh. But yeah, so let's keep going. So I like how he doesn't look at Maria though, because he's very like stern in that particular moment. I do like the glowy thing. It was at this
point I realized that Penny wasn't already in a different part of Amity Arena.
No, she was just
know.
They're just gonna blow it up, sis. And I do want to talk about the blowing it up, because I think that was sort of funny. But yeah, and so I like how Penny's just like sitting on the edge and all that stuff. But yeah, we don't need to go through all this necessarily. It's just connecting, and then Cinder comes in, and bad things are happening, and you know all
Everyone's
that stuff.
happy.
But yeah, they're like, it worked, because it did work. Like it did work. Cinder just fucked it up.
But
right?
I like how concerned and upset Penny is, and why do you think that is necessarily? Like I think she's still conflicted about going against Ironwood to an extent.
I think that why Penny doesn't want to go up is just because she wants to stay down there and help Ruby.
I think that's
what I mean. She doesn't want to sit up there and twiddle her thumbs while her friends are fighting for her. Also, thank you guys for all of the compliments about how I look today. I worked very hard. I like got these new curly products for my hair, and I'm really liking how everything turned out. But anyway, and so yeah, bad things. So this is where things started failing, right? Oh, actually, if that's Beacon, and that's Vacuo. I wonder if it's symbolism that Cinder just blew through the Atlas hole.
Oh.
We'll have to look at that more, unless it's every other one.
Yeah,
that would
it kind of looks
cool,
like
right?
every other one.
But yeah, let's see.
I like how she was already on top of it.
And it's funny how I guess Cinder blew a hole for the airship to come through it, right? So this was fun. I love Cinder's line, and Pietro's like, Penny, no, but like, what choice did she have? Cinder was already in Amity. You know what I'm saying? Like, what choice did Penny have but to go fight her?
I think
no choice.
I think ultimately Pietro's thing is that he's concerned about losing his daughter, and
ultimately.
we see that again later, which I'm glad they brought up because it's kind of odd. It's sort of like how Ren brought up the fact that Jean cheated his way into Beacon.
Yeah.
It's like it's a thing that we just sort of accept happened and don't think about the ramifications it has on the characters. Like it's because she's back, we basically all forgot that Penny died horribly, and that probably really gave Pietro a complex.
But yeah, I feel like Pietro, he's thinking, like, from the heart. He doesn't want Penny to go.
Yeah.
The logical thing is to stop Cinder. Like, Cinder needs to
also,
be
he
stopped,
doesn't look like he can totally see what's going on.
Yeah, so he doesn't even know why she's diving in yet, right? Until he sees Cinder later. Oh, gosh. Okay, so look at this. That's what...
she takes her hat off.
Did you see that? Neo, like, tips her hat. She takes her hat off. She's like, I'm gonna go fuck some people up.
I like that. I like that she doesn't want to destroy Roman's hat. That's really funny.
Roman's hat is in safekeeping. That's such a nice, like, little... Guys, the character moments that they're able to do with Neo are so fucking good. Like, those little subtle things, like taking her hat off and stuff like that. Like, that's so good. I love that. Right? Like, it's just those little character moments and all that stuff. Leave me alone. I want to scroll how I want to scroll.
I wonder if this is like a...
Because this is the veil symbol, isn't it?
No, Beacon was axes, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know which one
I thought Veil. I thought Vacuo was the sword of destruction.
I mean, the relics are different than the...
I know, but the relics are also a part of... Because, like, I think
That's
Beacon...
true.
I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. I do find it interesting. I feel like there was a shot like this in the Pietro and Penny fight.
Yeah, there definitely was. So,
yeah.
Tips hat to Neo, you good gentlewoman, yes. Milady, oh, you guys are so funny. So notice here, okay?
Fireworks display?
No, Ruby, Weiss, Blake, and Yang. It's like their colors, right? The explosion is Ruby colors, because Ruby's red, and the marketing team thinks that Weiss is blue, and that Blake is purple, and that Yang is yellow, obviously. Yang being yellow is
It's
fine.
like her friends lift her up. I don't know,
Yeah,
that's
I think that's sort of nice. Yeah, that is Vacuo. Good. That's what I thought. Anyway, and so, yeah, that helps propel them into the air and all that stuff. I really like I like how they're just all standing here, and then they get the alert, and then they see, like, you know, that Amity's going up. I like how you can't see Ironwood's eyes. They've done great things with not being able to see the eyes this episode, and, like, in previous, like, not being able to see Cinder's eyes as she says that she's nothing, not being able to see Pietro's eyes when Maria's like, don't you think you should, you know, let Penny do her own thing, bro? Right? And then you can't see Ironwood's eyes.
Can we also talk about how
here.
in the previous one, like, in the previous photos, just Marrow's like looking over at his
Do you have
phone.
any games?
Yeah, that's what I thought of. I thought like, you got any games on that phone? Yeah.
I'm gonna post that on Twitter if somebody else does it.
It's like my cousin's in the room.
Because I'm so bad with like making memes like during the volume, but I will do that. Okay. I will do that for you, Hunter, maybe.
Well, thank you.
But yeah, so I really like this.
How did she fall on the ground?
Well, she just like plopped out of the airship, I guess. I think that she jumped out and then she lost her balance when everything exploded. I think. That's what happened,
because it went down. That's why.
And so this was fucking cool, bro. Because this is a callback to Penny having all of those swords in Pyrrha's vision, not actually having them, but having them in Pyrrha's sight, if that makes sense. And so I really
Cinder,
like that.
I told you to get one sword at the sword store. Cinder.
So this is interesting. Cinder says you're just a tool to be used, and then Penny says you do not know what you are talking about. And I think that this is interesting because Hunter and I talked about this a couple times before we went live, but it's interesting how Cinder projects her feelings onto Penny, because I think Cinder does genuinely see Penny as nothing more than a toy, a robot to be controlled. But what Cinder doesn't realize is that Cinder is just as much a tool to be used. She is a key to open the beacon vault, and as soon as she opens the beacon vault, Salem will not give a single fuck. Like, Salem will get rid of Cinder as soon as the beacon vault is open. And that is why she hasn't gotten rid of Cinder yet, and that is why she wanted Cinder to stay there in the first place. Because Salem is like, okay, like, I think that, you know, we're getting the Haven, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I think we're getting the Haven relic or whatever, like, all of that stuff. Stay here, Cinder, so you can go get it. And after she goes to get it, like, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, after that, Cinder has outlived her usefulness, and Cinder doesn't realize that yet, but that's Salem's whole plan, in my opinion,
definitely
right?
projecting on...
yeah, she's projecting on Penny. I want to read, Luca Blight, thank 69. you. Thank you, for the super chat. Thank you for reading the username, Hunter. I'm having a stroke over here. 3 things that are certain in life: death, taxes, and Cinder losing a fight. Oh boy, yeah. I mean, was she really gonna win this one,
I think
though?
she's lost
That's
the
the
fight.
question.
She's lost the fight against every, unless you count Amber, but that one wasn't really completed.
Yeah, I mean, Amber, she did win, but she also
Kind of.
had Emerald and Mercury helping, right?
Yeah.
And the thing
She
is,
lost against, like, Penny twice.
Yeah.
She lost against Raven.
So it's just not going well for Cinder. But I feel like I know that people hate it, but it's part of her character development. Like, it's part of Cinder's character development to keep losing, and I hope that she gets a W this volume, because she has not gotten a W in a while. In
I
a
think
long,
that's
long
a
time,
thing that I think some
right?
people are are tired of Cinder. I'm not tired of
Yeah.
Cinder.
Oh, I'm kind of tired of Cinder.
Well,
to
you're
be
wrong,
honest.
and that's okay. That's okay. You can be wrong.
Yeah.
But I know, because I feel like that's still her development, because she's projecting, and I think eventually she will come to understand.
We're gonna get her backstory, I think, soon, like relatively soon, and so I feel like Cinder still has the capability to be interesting.
Become a pirate?
Yes. I feel like a lot of people are fed up with Cinder, though, and so that's the other thing, right? And so they really need to get it together with Cinder stuff.
I really think that they're gonna Zuko her. They're gonna do something really interesting with her. I don't think they're just gonna offer.
I don't think they're gonna Zuko her per se, but
or,
I feel
or
like
do something,
that's something
not a
interesting
total
is gonna
redemption,
happen.
but something.
Cinder got a W. The W was for Weiss. Oh, God. I mean, yeah, failure is Cinder's whole theme. She keeps losing, so her hunger for power keeps growing. I agree. I think that that's Cinder's whole thing right now, and I think that she will get a W. I do understand why people want to see her win so badly, but this is just another step in her character development. But I feel like she really needs to have a turning point in her character development, because we've seen her lose enough. Like, we fucking get it. She loses. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let her learn from that and change so she can have a win and all that stuff. So I really like that projecting onto Penny right here. I think that that was really nice.
Although I do feel like Penny did kind of beat Cinder too easily, but when you consider the fact that
she's a robot, though, right?
That's true. I guess Penny has always just been a very strong fighter.
Because think about it, right? She's a robot and she has the Maiden powers. And on a human, that trick that Emerald had probably would have worked.
Yeah.
But because Penny is a robot, she has the upper hand. And so I feel like that's another important thing, too, is that Cinder just sees her as, some toy. But in many ways, that toy is something that Cinder can never be. And we talked about that do you remember last volume? We made a video about that. And the video was basically talking about how Cinder and Penny have an interesting relationship, because Penny is a robot, and in a sense she unfairly inherited power, not through the Maiden powers, but just being built as powerful, and that's everything that Cinder hates. Cinder hates people with natural talent, and Penny was basically built to have as much natural talent as possible. So I'm sure that Cinder is, she hates that shit, bro. That's my technical analysis.
Hates that shit, bro.
No, she hates that shit, I said. She hates that. But yeah, what were you gonna say, Hunter?
I totally forgot, because now all I can think of is hates that shit, bro.
Well, you know what I mean, right?
Okay. I do also find it interesting that the reason why Cinder lost to Raven is that Vernal helped Raven. So it's interesting that she's kind of picked up to get Emerald to help her in her fight. Yeah. So I think she is learning a little bit.
She is
also,
learning.
Also, she did have that Volume 3 W kind of when she did kill Ozpin.
Yeah.
impressive.
Penny's just built different. Yeah, exactly. But I think that you're right, Hunter. I feel like that people shouldn't take this as, Cinder got another L. Because, she did. But at the same time, did she learn from fighting against her the last time? Yes, she brought Emerald and Neo along, and they were supposed to help. It's just, good help is hard to find these days. I don't know what to tell you, right? And so you have, Maria, right, as sort of Penny helping Penny, and Pietro helping Penny and all that stuff, too. And so, I don't know. It was pretty, balanced overall. And so I feel like that's a good thing, though, that Cinder learned. She's like, Raven had Vernal, so I'm gonna bring Emerald, but Emerald isn't enough against Penny because Penny is a robot, so.
Nice to know that everybody has inferiority complexes.
Yep.
Like Emerald and Cinder, even Penny, arguably. They're perfect for each other.
And so, yeah, we, I don't know how much we're gonna talk about the fight, per se.
It was excellent. I really dug it.
It was really good, but usually we talk about the more, the lines, the dialogue, and so the fight is just it's a fight.
I really like that they've kind of embraced the idea that Penny and Cinder fly. It feels very, dynamic.
I really like that, yeah. I swear Maria was about to say bitch, so you said that. So that is a reference
to either Alien or Aliens, the movie, because Ridley, in a yellow mech suit, says, "Get away from her, you bitch." to the big alien. So I think it's like a direct reference to that.
So that's Hunter's little Easter egg for you, if you will, is that the Maria's line is a reference to Alien or something like that. And so if you look at this, though, it's so funny how Neo just tries to drive into Maria. Like, that's a great idea. I just thought that was so funny. And yeah, poor Emerald's like, she runs so much. And I feel like Emerald, like, I don't know, Emerald's doing her best. Yeah. Right?
I was genuinely we
were so concerned about Maria here.
Yeah, because there was up ahead you will see it, I think, if you can scroll forward.
I was so sure that Maria and Pietro were gonna die. I still think that they can die.
I wasn't as convinced as you were.
I feel like they're going to die, but I thought they were gonna die right here. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like they still could die. However, they didn't die here.
They'll die somewhere.
They'll die somewhere. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Yeah, the Tai Yang scene got me. Oh, we're going to talk about that, guys. You guys aren't even ready. Our reaction, again, which is on Patreon and for YouTube membership members, okay? Our reaction to Tai Yang, like, you guys would not believe, like, you guys just wouldn't believe it. You just wouldn't believe it. You guys have to see it. But yeah, I like how Neo...
I love how
it's so easy to drive the plane. Yeah. It's just you accelerate or you go
I love they were like, how do we show that Neo is reversing? How about instead of like a clutch or like just a big fucking button like an iPad that you just slap and it goes in reverse? I love that so much.
And so Emerald is now helping.
Emerald is also really getting her steps in because she's ran around this whole thing.
And yeah, so this is where I was concerned about Maria, not gonna lie. And look, like, do you see that? I think that Neo does a little snap. She's just like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right? And then,
is she wearing her hat here, or?
No, she's not.
Oh, no, she is. So she gets her hat.
She got her hat. She's like, I gotta get my hat back on. That's so funny.
I love how triumphant she looked, and I genuinely thought that Maria was gonna,
Neo lost all best girl privileges. Now, okay, listen.
That's incorrect.
If Neo killed Maria... I don't know if I would be able to forgive Neo, but I feel like they did that on purpose because I feel like people forget that Neo is a villain sometimes. Like, we just love Neo so much that we forget how bad she is. And so we were told, allegedly, this is like a rumor, this is like a volume 8 urban legend, that somebody talked to somebody and said that Neo would do something unforgivable in the future, or something like that, right? And so I feel like that, even if that line is not true, if that makes sense, like, even if that is not accurate, like that somebody actually said that, I feel like there are times where they are trying to remind us that Neo is still a bad guy and she would have killed Maria, right? And so I love Neo still, though. Even if I don't know, if she killed Maria, I feel like I would need some time, but I feel like I would still love her, even if she killed Maria. Yeah. Maybe I would love her because she killed Maria, because she's still fucking ruthless. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
That's fair.
Yeah. And...
I'm a Neo simp.
I'm just looking at the chat for a minute. We haven't seen Ty since that end credit scene. I know. We'll talk about that.
Haven't seen Raven in a while either.
But yeah,
it didn't look like a new costume for Ty.
No, I think Ty's in the same clothes.
Which makes me feel as though he won't. I don't know. I want.
He could get stuff.
I want that if Raven returns, she has a new outfit.
Also, if you guys want us to see your comment better, you can send a super chat, because there's just, like, so many people talking, and it's just gray and white. Like, the super chats really help for us
I love that this is a quintessential Neo pose.
It is, right? And
what do you want?
I love how Maria's just like, what do you want? Like, we know what Cinder wants. What the fuck do you want?
Like, she doesn't even know who Neo is.
Yeah.
I also, Oh, that is the new RWBY costume.
Yeah, that is the new RWBY costume.
I also like how you can tell that that's definitely Neo, just the way she's smirking.
Look at her eyebrows, too, and it's like, wee! And so she just tossed Maria, but Maria's aura still didn't break.
Yes.
So Maria's still, like, going strong.
Because I was concerned, because I thought she was just going to, like, get thrown and destroyed, but she lands, which I'm like, oh, shit,
she can fight. And battle music, it's like, oh, Maria's getting it! Oh,
I also love how that's how, like, Neo. At first, I didn't realize that was Neo communicating. She wants RWBY.
She wants RWBY.
At the time, I thought like, oh, she's gonna dress up as RWBY and try to trick Penny.
Then you see RWBY fighting Maria, and so like Pietro's like, I have no idea what's going on, because Pietro must know that's not really RWBY, right?
I mean, he probably witnessed her turn into someone else.
And Pietro's just like,
so he just looks really frightened, and he's like, well, better get piping.
Well, that's all he can do. cute, right? Like, what else are you gonna do? And so, yeah, it is working until, you know, Cinder blew a fucking hole in the lava, started eating away at the metal from this thingy. I don't know.
I guess thruster, but it's not exactly a thruster, like a stabilizer, I think
Pretty much,
say.
yeah. And so I just love the flying. I think it's so cool to see them. Like,
I love that they're back in Amity Arena. It was such an interesting place to stage a fight. It's nice to sort of return to it.
Like where we left off, you know
Weirdly
what I mean?
Nostalgic.
Where Volume 3 left off, in a sense.
Just Penny being like, this place is fucking bad luck for me. If it ever shows up again, I'm not having it. I also love how they give Cinder more moves. She has those like flaming arcs. Do you remember in really early versions of Grimm Eclipse? Remember Grimm Eclipse, everyone?
Remember Grimm Eclipse?
How Blake had that attack where she would shoot moons at people?
I do not remember.
Okay, well, it kind of reminds me of Blake's moon shooting.
Maybe.
But out of fire.
But
I like that she has all these kind of unique swords. I like
nice
how she brings back her bow and arrow.
the bow and arrow come back. It has been a minute since we've seen the bow and arrow, and I know that was a lot of people's...
I wonder if that's gonna
be
incorporated...
not criticism, but just, like, people's stuff. You know what I mean?
I haven't listened to people in a very long time.
People have wanted the bow and arrow to make a comeback. Thank you, Jay, for the $1 super tap, but you didn't write anything. But
he just wants
thank
to be
you
loved.
so much.
He just wants to be appreciated.
Maiden's really showing their power level. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think that Cinder blowing through that hole, like, that just shows how strong her firepower, right? Her firepower really is, and all that stuff. And so, yeah.
I also like how whereas before they would just plink off people, now they explode. Also, like, Arrow is how she killed Pyrrha. So
and multiple other people.
When that came out, I was like,
uh-oh, right? And we'll talk about, she also pulls out the spear that she used to hurt Weiss. And so that was pretty funny too. And so you can see, like, this one is down because of the liquid eating into that,
which means it's, like, drifting off to its side.
And that's bad, guys.
It's not great.
Right? And so, I really like that Penny tries to lead her away.
This is how I know I'm a really bad, like, with strategy or planning. Because I was like, yeah, good job, Penny. Take her away from Atlas. Or rather, from Amity. And then she immediately turns around and goes and just destroys it. I'm like, oh, that was a bad idea. Well, you shouldn't have listened to me.
It's because she knew, right?
I guess so,
She figured out what Penny was trying to do. That Penny was trying to get her to chase, right? And then Cinder, look at this. Cinder's just like, I fucking got you.
Can we talk about how fast she moved in that scene?
Okay, so now this is my favorite part of that. One of my favorite parts of the episode. We had many, many favorite parts. Yeah, look at this. Like, Neo is like really trying to kick her ass, bro. So look at this.
I regret not mentioning this earlier, but I recall last night having a dream where Maria fought. But like
anyone.
Where Maria was punching people and was really good. And I remember before that, like, hey, should I bring that up? And I'm like, no, that's stupid. That's not going to happen.
I mean, and then her fighting, like, that's not a bad, you know.
I also like that it's kind of like she's like gotten re-energized since meeting with RWBY. Whereas before she talked about like being broken and being afraid and not wanting to be a huntress. Now she's like back on her huntress shit. Like she's fighting people. And she's good. She reminds me of like Yoda. She's like jumping around and just fighting Neo effortlessly. Yeah. I also think that she's like the only person to have ever like landed a hit squarely on Neo.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, and I know
that wasn't like a Maiden.
How can Neo beat Yang, but you can't beat Maria? Like, Maria, I know she's old, but like, listen, she's old, but she's mighty. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. She has more fighting experience. She has the preflexes, semblance, and all that stuff. And
they're
fighting in a more open area. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like people are too, like, how is Neo, like, strong over here, but she's not strong over there? Like, they had a good fight, bro.
They had a good fight. I will say that I like how Neo's thing, especially in that fight with Yang, is how she's so effortlessly able to dodge. Yeah. And so having, like, Maria be even more effortless in her dodging is really interesting.
Neo clearly underestimated Maria. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too,
if it wasn't for Penny saving Maria, which obviously, like, Neo has a long history of being afraid of maidens. She didn't want to fight Cinder and she didn't want to fight Raven. Well, if it wasn't for that, Neo would have, like, she was, like, pulling out her sword and about to stab Maria.
Yeah.
Like, Maria would have lost. I think Neo is still a better fighter, or at least
Maria
would have won
has
that
experience.
bout.
Maria was the best huntsman of her generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, she was the best. So I feel like it makes sense. Like, some people are complaining that Neo didn't win or kill her or whatever, but I feel like it all makes sense.
It
you
makes
know what
sense.
I mean?
It makes sense, and also
And Maria's laughing, bro.
Yeah.
Like, Maria's having fun. You know what I mean?
And I think
so
also,
I feel like it's fine.
Yeah, people forget also that Neo did a pretty good job in this fight and would have won.
Yeah, I mean,
for Penny.
exactly. If it wasn't for Penny, she would have won, right? And so that's the other thing too, is like she did beat Maria.
Yeah.
She just didn't beat Penny's
Not
fucking
as
lasers.
effortlessly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the other thing. Maria won because she's even shorter than Neo. That's funny.
That's true. I think Maria is the new shortest character. That and like the baby.
But yeah, like that makes a lot of sense too. Is that she was about to win, but then Penny, you know, came and ruined everything. Right?
Also,
so
that
it's
is
not Neo's fault that she lost. I mean, I don't think so.
There's a really excellent like meme I saw where it was a Hard Knock Life, the Jay-Z song, or I guess the Annie song, but they set it to all that. Wait, go back there. She just dabbed.
I guess in a weird way.
She dabbed. I've won. It was a Hard Knock Life, and it was just RWBY characters getting the snot kicked out of them.
Oh,
and I feel like this would be
gonna
great.
go in the compilation,
yeah, like,
is what you're saying.
Neo getting lasered is gonna go on the next Hard Knock Life RWBY compilation.
Thank you, Jay Happy, for the super chat. LOL, wanted to say love you guys. Today's my birthday. It's your birthday? It's my birthday in 2 days.
It's also Lelouch v. Britannia's birthday.
It is also Lelouch v. Britannia's birthday.
What is it? Wait, is it L? Is it L?
It's
no, it's
J.
J
Nice
Trigger
try,
Happy.
though.
Oh, if it was L Trigger Happy, I'm like, Lelouch is
But
a
yes,
fan.
happy
He's real.
birthday. We're birthday like month buddies, so I hope that you have a good birthday. I hope that we are entertaining you guys on your special days.
J Trigger Happy, Lelouch, and Jesus. Everyone
Exactly.
has December birthdays.
Everyone's December birthday is coming through. Haru from Persona 5 apparently as well. People say I
Isaac
look like
Newton.
Haru because my hair is curly, but yeah.
Who's Haru? Is she
she's
the cat
like,
lady?
No.
Okay.
She's from Persona. She has little poofy.
The only
hair.
characters
Wait,
I know.
Look back there. She's
Yeah.
the one that looks more like a little like a princess with the hat, and like she has like the curly hair and the purple. Okay. Yeah.
The only characters I know are Joker, the S&M red cat lady, and the girl with the orange hair.
Boy.
I haven't played that game. Moving on.
Moving on. But yeah.
Also, she
Maria
kicked her in the side of the head.
Look at this guy.
I love her so much.
my
I'm so
God.
happy that not only is Maria fighting, but like she's so confident now.
Yeah, Maria regained her confidence because of RWBY,
I'm so
and I feel
happy.
like it was so good, right?
I've never been so happy to watch a senior citizen beat the shit out of someone before.
Yeah, and like, oh man, Neo's just like, oh boy, bro, look at this.
She's genuinely very upset.
I know, I feel like she is though, because she's like, I thought this was gonna be fucking easy, bro. And so yeah, then Cinder is
melting those steel beams.
Oh boy, is melting like the support for, the whole thing, just the whole thing, you know. And so I feel like that's really.
I like it's almost she like has that. It's an interest. I always like fights where not only are they wanting to kill each other, there's some other objective.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say that's really interesting. Just to have. I don't want to call it elemental, but like, you know how there's like person versus nature, and how there's external fights and then internal fights. It's interesting to have not just a fight where you're fighting a person, but also a fight where like something like this happens, where a structure is going down, and stuff like that. So I feel like that's kind of fun. I really like that. Very funky fresh to have other things going on in the fight.
And then it like draws your attention in multiple different places.
And so I really like that. Like Cinder isn't that stupid. Like she's still using strategy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but yeah. I was so worried that Cinder was gonna kill Pietro. I'm surprised she didn't go for Pietro at all.
I feel
had faith,
you know.
It's because she still sees Penny as a toy. She doesn't see Pietro as, oh, if I kill Pietro, it'll hurt Penny's feelings, right? She doesn't even acknowledge Pietro.
That
like,
Penny
Cinder has
feelings
very
even.
tunnel vision, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like it makes sense why Cinder didn't go after Pietro specifically, because she doesn't see Penny as having feelings. She doesn't even consider that, like, capturing Pietro would hurt her and all that sort of
She's
stuff.
not one for
right?
psychological warfare in the same way that, like, Salem is.
Yeah.
Which
She's
I think
very
is
just,
potentially
you know,
her...
what do you call it?
She just likes hitting
tunnel
stuff.
vision, right?
Tunnel
like, she's
vision.
very focused on that one thing, and she won't stop until she gets that one thing. She doesn't think... Because Salem would have captured Pietro, right? Salem would have done that. Or even Tyrion, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I guess Cinder does throw that sword in Weiss that one time.
Yeah,
That's a little...
that one
But maybe
time.
she just spotted an opening and was like, might as well impale someone.
Yeah, right? And so I feel like that this time, it's very interesting. And so it's like, why are you doing this? Why serve someone like Salem? And so what's interesting here is Cinder says, I don't serve anyone, and you wouldn't either if you weren't built that way.
But very
and so it's
clearly...
again... like,
that's
not
true.
understanding that she is the same. Because what did Salem say? Salem was like, just because you're not a pawn doesn't mean you aren't a player or whatever, right? Like, didn't she say that?
Yeah, just because you're not a pawn doesn't mean you're a player.
Yeah, and so I'm like, Cinder, honey. Like, does Cinder still not realize, right?
But it's almost like she's deluded herself.
I
That,
think
like,
so.
if she's able to, like, win, like, maybe she's just manic right now.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be interesting to see how she comes down from that manic
And I
energy.
feel like she wouldn't want Penny to know anyway.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
okay.
So she would deny it. She wouldn't want to be like, you know what, Penny, I think
maybe,
you're right.
Maybe
you know
it is a little bit of psychological warfare that she's trying to piss her off. I don't know.
And
maybe,
so I feel
maybe
like...
we're wrong to say she doesn't do that.
Yeah, and so I feel like it's two things. I feel like that she can be deluded, but I feel like at the same time, like, why would she tell Penny, oh, you're right, I am serving someone, right? You know what I mean? She wouldn't say that.
I'm serving looks.
Maybe she would think about it after, but I feel like that's going to be a big turning point in Cinder's character development, is that she's going to suddenly, like, really have it set in that she is nothing more than a pawn, and that she will... You know, I don't know what she's gonna do exactly, but I feel like that's when we'll see her backstory and she'll have a little think and maybe realize that she wants to leverage against Salem in some way, but I don't know if it'll go very well for her, right? Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And if you wouldn't either if you weren't built that way.
So that's that
right?
kind of animosity she has.
I don't think Cinder's identifying with Penny. She's saying you wouldn't serve anyone. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but she's saying I don't serve anyone, and even if I did hypothetically serve someone, you wouldn't either if you weren't built that way. I don't think that Cinder's identifying with her there. She's not saying either as in I serve someone, but you wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like,
I think she's just unaware, like lacks self-awareness that obviously she does serve.
It's hard
Salem.
to explain. I understand what you guys are trying to say about the wording, but she's basically just saying I don't serve anyone, and like you serve people, but you wouldn't if, you know, this, and this, if you weren't purposefully designed to be controlled. You know what I mean? And so I feel like that's really interesting.
And I also wonder how that connects, like, the idea of serving someone.
Yeah.
Like, how that connects to her
Well,
origin
that connects
story.
to her backstory, right? And
well,
so
presumably.
We need the backstory.
I'm still thinking that, like, slavery, or, like, pirate thing, I think that's gonna happen. Indentured servitude, I don't know what
I think so. And I wonder if something that could happen is that we get next episode, and then episode 7 before the winter break is all Cinder's backstory, and then we just think about that for the entire time. But I don't know if that's like I don't want to say too much. I don't know if that's too soon. We only have 2 more episodes after this one, and so what are they gonna leave us on for the
because like they
cliffhanger?
the first shot of this part of this season was that her swabbing the decks. So maybe
we haven't gone back to that.
Maybe
for
the
a
last
while.
scene of
before the cliffhanger
will be like return to that. Maybe it'll kind of be like how we learned that Jinn exists, and then we got the story of Salem and Ozma. Maybe it's a similar thing where like this time we will learn the nature of it, but we won't learn the exact detail. And hopefully, if I have spoken to the fates correctly,
oh boy,
it will involve being a pirate. Yo ho fiddle dee.
Cinder's arm is gaining more ground on her body. It is. And we will talk about that. Well, I want to talk about her arm because people are asking how she's using her arm. We'll talk about it.
It connects to her nervous system, presumably.
I feel like there's so much they could do with Cinder, but up until now, Cinder has been a very, one-dimensional character, and they really need to start going for it. You know what I mean? And I think they're going for it, but they just need to go for it. Because, people are so frustrated. Yeah, this is part of them going for it, right? It's a building blocks.
But some people also wanted Adam to be sympathetic. Yeah. So sometimes you don't listen to them.
But I don't know. With Adam, I feel like it's different. With Cinder, she's a mainstay villain. She's staying around. With Adam, I don't know. It would have been kind of nice to see his backstory, but I didn't feel like we needed it. But with Cinder fans specifically, people are begging for Cinder's backstory. People have been begging. I've seen this
There's so much fan fiction about Cinder's backstory.
And so they just, we needed this.
It's been
too long, right? And so I feel like that's, I don't know, I feel like that we really need that from her because that's what people want. People want to know her motivations are only surface level if we do not know why she has them, and we can guess, but people want the backstory to sort of build that up and all that stuff. And so let's look at that. That is not, I choose to fight for people who care about me. I thought that was kind of nice.
And it's Salem does not care about you.
Yeah, Salem doesn't care about you, right? Why are you fighting for Salem when she doesn't care about you?
Look what she's holding up. Also, she uses her ice powers, and I keep on forgetting she has them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? Part of me wonders if she was kind of holding. Okay, wow, you really are just straddling each other, aren't you?
Oh boy, do you ship it, guys?
The fan fiction. Honestly, I ship. Look into my eyes.
I do not see it.
Look into my eyes. Yeah. I ship every human character.
I know.
On RWBY with Cinder.
Oh,
almost
God.
without a doubt.
But yeah, that's Anyway, let's move on.
I'm just saying. Right?
There's definitely something to say about the shipping element of
Mommy,
this.
Daddy, why are you wrestling?
God, but yeah, let's,
even as she's about to, die, she's trying to save her dad.
On Pietro, right?
I really like that element in a fight, and I really think it tells about their different priorities.
What's interesting, too, is that she burns Penny's hand, and it seems like it still affects Penny in some way, even though she doesn't have nerves,
this up, or we can't. Obviously, we don't have the audio, but I forget who voices Penny. She's done an amazing job.
Taylor McNee.
Okay, that sounds about right. But especially here and especially later, but this scene where she's screaming is excellent.
Yeah, Penny's voice acting is chef's kiss. Penny's voice acting is so good in this episode, and we'll talk about other places where it's good.
Also, Goddess Salem in the chat, you're correct. I have no shame.
At the end of the episode, when Penny's like, "Dad," that was just, oh my God, the voice acting has been really good this volume.
And really the noise and how terrified and scared she sounds. It's just, it kind of reminds me of Oscar's. I guess Oscar's scene from last episode.
And how
it's just really great. The actors have done such a great job, I think.
Yeah. And so let's look at this. So we have the suction. So you guys are asking how this is happening. I think that it is with the Grimm arm, it is the same sort of remember when Cinder had the bug, right? And the bug sucked the powers out of Amber? I feel like that the bug just went through her skin and grew on her arm. So that arm is sort of the same functionality as the Grimm bug and is able to suck out the powers through that way. It's what Salem gave her originally against Amber. It has just now grown all over her arm.
We also see her do the same thing in her fight with Raven. Also, I think that potentially she gets. I don't think it was grown from the bug. I like that idea. I think
it was based on the bug, not necessarily grown from it.
It would make sense, right? Because the bug must have spread there and it got lost. During when she got blasted by Ruby Silver Eyes.
Yeah, because that's the other thing, right? Everyone's why was Cinder hurt by Ruby's blast, right? That's what sort of misdirected people into thinking it's the Maiden powers that are hurt by Silver Eyes, but it was because the bug was in her. The bug was the friends we made along the way.
That is true,
the bugs were in her all along, right?
That was back when we knew nothing about Silver Eyes, and I remember that we thought that it was powerful against the Maidens. Good times. We knew so little.
In the AMA, Eddie confirmed the arm doesn't suck out the Maiden powers. Well, I mean, whether it's the arm or the bug in the arm, like clearly the arm is going, right? It's sucking out aura. Oh, wait a second. Wait. Maybe it's not the Maiden power specifically. Maybe that would kill Penny. Because do you guys remember? Oh my god, Hunter. I had a vision. So, do you guys remember in the book, Dar is actually right. Do you guys remember in the book how it says that Gil tried to experiment with her aura sucking on Grimm, and that when she connected with the Grimm like forcibly like tried to suck out her aura. Do you guys remember that in Before the Dawn? The villain character, she says something like that. I'm like so tempted to run and get my book, but if anybody has the passage where she talks about that, that would be great. But she basically says that like Gillian is talking, and she says that she came across a Grimm in the desert once, and she tried to use her aura, because like Gillian has aura suckage or something. Like, it's basically that they're both like batteries or something, right? And so I wonder if that was established in the book in order to do this. Like, it's not the arm that is sucking out the Maiden power specifically, but it's the arm that is sucking out her aura as a whole, and the aura just includes the Maiden powers, and that's how it would work, right? And so in the book, like, Gil is trying to like attach to a Grimm or something, like as an experiment, and the Grimm keeps taking from her, and then she disconnects by killing the Grimm. So if they said that in Before the Dawn, I think that that is what's happening here, is that Grimm are able to suck up aura when connected, if that makes sense. And so that aura suckage is basically, like, it would make Cinder's aura stronger, but because the aura is attached to the Maiden powers, it's like the aura transfer that they wanted to do on Penny, or not Penny, on Pyrrha and Amber, right? It's that sort of same thing, but it's with, Cinder is sucking out Penny's aura. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I also
think it would be interesting that...
I think it's pronounced Jillian, like Jackson Jill Cal. I know, I'm so dumb, I'm so sorry. But yeah, I think that piece of information in the RWBY book, I feel like that was interesting.
Yeah. I also think that there's a potentiality for... We've never seen someone with two Maiden powers before. Yeah. So what if, like, Salem was lying to Cinder the whole time?
About being able to take it at all.
About being able to take two, just to make her feel more important. Maybe that's going to be what causes Cinder to leave her. But wouldn't that backfire, though?
Because what if Cinder... Because Cinder went after Raven.
That's true.
And so why would Salem want her to get... I mean, I guess Salem just cares about the relic. But if that could backfire on her, then wouldn't that be bad, like, in terms of her getting the relic at Haven?
Well, I mean, the plan was to get...
I feel like it is possible.
I mean, the plan was not... I wonder if the plan was to actually kill Raven, or that was just Cinder going off the book.
Maybe. So Cinder was murdering Penny. Yes. That's it. Yes. And so, and Emerald is just
running around the whole time. She really got her cardio in this episode.
This was fun, so it's ice swords. Very nice. So I really wanted to see this
long
screenshot in particular,
arm.
like this long
Well, yeah, that arm does stretch. We see that happening. God. That's what kills Vernal in volume 5 at the end.
Basically, right? And so so I guess Cinder tried to do that to Vernal, but it just, like, killed her. Feels bad, man. And so Emerald's just like, Cinder. And so I like that it sort of went back to Maria fighting Neo, but, so they share a look because it's like, it's time. It's time to use my semblance. I've been working on my semblance. Right? And so, that's the thing. Neo wins against Maria. So I don't know what all this Neo slander is today. Like, how did Neo beat Yang but can't beat Maria? Ha ha ha. Like, Neo beat Maria. Neo was about to fucking kill Maria.
That's the face of a cinnamon bun about to murder.
Right? And so, I don't know. I've seen some people tweeting. I'm not exactly sure of the context. Like, I saw like specific RWBY YouTubers make a tweet, and I don't know what they're making a tweet. Like, I don't know if they're mad that Neo lost or they're mad that Neo won, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not sure which way it's going.
As a demographic...
But Neo's gonna win, sis! Like, she was gonna win, bro! And Maria, and Penny just yeeted her, bro! Yeah, so... It'd be like that. I don't know what to say.
She really just got her ass blasted.
But yeah, I was so sure she was gonna die. And again, just to remind you guys, our reaction is up for patrons and on YouTube membership members. Just because I see there's a lot of people in the chat, I just want to remind you guys that you can see our reaction early and all that stuff. But yeah, like
also
Penny,
this is interesting. Her aura
Penny
breaks
beat her ass.
here.
Yeah, her aura broke.
Which means that she can't use her semblance anymore. Which means that she must not be camouflaging herself like we predicted, and she actually does just look like that.
Yes.
So it looks like that.
But she could still be a chill.
She could still be a
chill. Okay, but it
sure.
looks like the theory about Neo like having a true appearance underneath is wrong. Unless it cuts away because they didn't want us to see the true appearance yet. Like maybe it would take a minute for her to right? Like, you know what I mean? But instead it cuts back to Penny, and so we didn't really see it. So I do wonder if maybe your theory could still be right, Hunter. It just wouldn't be an instant change. Like, in that second, like, it cuts away from Neo. But then by the time, I guess, Neo gets back onto the airship, she's recovered a little aura enough to go back to her original appearance. There's still hope for you. I'm trying to give you hope. It's probably
I just
not
thought
true,
that. I mean, it was just
but,
kind of,
you know what I mean?
It was just like a crack theory I had about
Penny smiting Neo gives me life. Thank you, Shady, for the super chat.
Maidenphobia, which is hilarious.
That's kind of funny. I would have said like Maidenmodium, like what do you say, Pandemodium or whatever?
Maidenmodium?
Yeah, Maidenmodium. That's what I would have said. Yeah, maybe. Neo is still undefeated. You guys are all just salty. Yeah, I mean that's sort of what I'm saying. Like Neo did win against Maria. Just Neo just didn't win against a giant laser. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Neo didn't really lose. Not inside my heart. She didn't. I mean, she lost against Penny, but she beat Maria technically. And like everyone's losing against Penny because Penny has fucking lasers.
And also, Neo losing to maidens have a long history. Yeah. She most of the time didn't even bother fighting maidens. Anyways.
I like how you didn't want to fill that time with anything.
I don't know, because I thought you were about to say something brilliant. You were about to drop
I wasn't.
some
I was
great...
going to say, Calxiyn will still be saying, we could be right, Hunter, as the end credits roll for the final episode of RWBY.
I was reading that. Yeah.
But yeah.
It's also interesting that although...
Welcome back to the spear, everyone. The spear that killed Weiss.
Although Cinder loses, Penny definitely looks a lot more beat up.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, she did a number on Penny.
So
she just
I also
didn't
think
get Achiever.
Part of me also, like, initially I felt that, like, Cinder died too easy. But now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, no.
Cinder's not dead.
She'd lost too easy. Right. But now I'm like, no, it wasn't an easy fight. Like, very obviously they both, like, did a number on
So that was fun that Emerald did this. So again, right, this would have worked if Penny wasn't a robot, right? And so again, you can't say Cinder sucks that much. Like, this would have worked against a normal human. It's just the fact that Penny's a robot, but it's because Penny is a robot that she can beat Cinder. And I think that's what makes Cinder so mad, is that, you know, she just sees Penny as a toy. She sees Penny as something that is, like, no better, that, like, less than human. You know what I mean? Like, probably not in Cinder's mind, but for society, there's humans. Some people think there's Faunus, but it should be humans, Faunus, and Penny. But either way, it's still humans, Faunus on the same level, and then Penny. Like, Penny is less than human, yet she can beat Cinder for all the reasons that Cinder seems to hate her, which I think is so good. Yeah.
And I think we're going to get some really great sort of Cinder development in the upcoming episodes.
And so I really like this. So she's using, like, thermal... you know, recognition to see, like, who's human, right? And so I really love that.
And she just and
Emerald's like, oh shit, why didn't it work, bro? And so I feel like that was really good.
And she just gets fucking, like, it's almost, like, once again, there's a lot of really good, like, this sounds weird, there's a lot of good, like, voice acting moments where people are either sad or terrified or in extreme pain. This scream that Cinder gives off, and then the acting we get from Emerald's VA was really good in this sort of scene. Just, it sounds very visceral, like, yes, this actually really hurt her.
Yeah, and then I feel like that we'll talk about that. Oh, what if we get Cinder's backstory next episode? Because she's asleep.
Oh, maybe.
Right? She's not really all there right now.
And the rocking of the airship reminds her of the rocking of the boat.
Oh,
on
God,
the high
Hunter,
seas.
you're so funny. But no, like, actually, like, what if next episode, like, that's what happens. Like, we get Cinder's backstory because Cinder's, like, half asleep. Yeah, right? Yeah. And that's a very common, like, backstory trope thing is, like, oh, the person remembers their childhood while they're going through an injury.
Or maybe it'll be just like another tease where we'll get another, like, half moment
I could see, like, the whole thing, though. Like, I could genuinely see the whole thing happening next episode. I just dropped my water bottle, but you know what? We're gonna leave it there because I can't bend down in this dress. So, it's empty anyway. It shouldn't be making a mess. But yeah, so Emerald goes immediately to help Cinder. But yeah, what if... Because Cinder's, like, out, bro. Like, Cinder's fucking out. Like, what if,
so cute while
Cinder's out, right, we get that backstory. Both Cinder and Nora are in a coma now. Yes!
Look at how cute she is. She's like a cat that sleeps with its mouth open.
And so, yeah, so I really like this. Because Emerald tries to shoot off over there. And so I like how Penny's, like, ready to kill both of them, right?
Which, arguably, she probably should have, even though I do think that one or two of those characters may become allies.
They show up back at the whale and, like, Cinder fell down a whole flight of steps. But yeah, I definitely think, like, she could dream about her backstory. Yeah. I really like this. How are they going to explain this to Salem? Spoiler alert, it's not going to go very well, you know what I'm saying? I know I can't beat you. And so it's interesting because Penny recognizes, like, genuine emotion, right, out of Emerald. But I can feel that thing full of holes before you can take me down. Now, I don't believe that's true. I don't believe that's true, but she's still dangerous. Like, she did hit something close to Pietro. Like, Penny could have lasered. Penny could have literally stabbed her in the throat with her swords and Emerald would be dead. But I think Penny
lasered them both in one go.
Actually empathizes, right? She's taken back by how Emerald actually has feelings. And I love this. And it reminds me a little about something else. And I don't remember what. Like, it reminds me of another character. Did Ilia do this? Did Ilia cry?
I think Jean cried.
Jean, maybe? I think Jean cried while talking to Cinder once. Do you guys remember if anyone else has cried like this, like over a specific person? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I can't think of any.
Like, I feel like I've seen this before. I've seen this face. I've seen this crying face, but I don't remember when.
Maybe even
Ren!
RWBY.
Ren! When Ren was crying about Nora being Neo.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's it. This was Ren's face, because Ren was crying because Neo was pretending to be Nora.
Kind of a different situation, though. But...
Right? And so I really like that. A different situation, but it's still the same face. It's showing how much Emerald loves Cinder. And I do wonder, like, I know this is so off topic, I wonder if this is going to be, like, another, like, LGBT rep for us this season. You know what I mean? Like, we have Blake and Yang. I think
we've been talking about Emerald being both, having
gay
a crush
and in love with Cinder.
In love with Cinder and going good for a really long time. Since like Volume 3
so
and Volume 2.
I don't know.
I could see it happening.
I wonder if Emerald's love for Cinder will be a topic, like a confirmed topic. You know? Emerald cried over Cinder in Volume 5. I don't remember Volume 5, to be honest, but I was thinking of
maybe
Ren,
at the end,
personally.
No, at the end when she realizes that Cinder's lost and she freaks out and she makes Salem appears.
Why do characters only cry from one eye?
It's the sexy cry.
No.
Right? Do you ever look at a real person crying?
I read something somewhere. I don't know if we can find it, but I read.
Like the first tear out of one eye?
It's like if you cry out of your left eye, you're feeling this, but if you cry out of your right eye, you're feeling that instead of crying with both eyes. Which eye is that? Is that her left eye?
It would be her right eye. Also, she's crying out of both eyes, just one isn't dripping down.
Hold on.
I don't know, because the sexy cry looks better. A single lone tear is better than, like, being snotty and horrible.
Okay, so we want to look at cry from... Is that her left eye?
No, that's her right eye.
Right eye.
Yes, right eye.
Cry from right eye. When a person cries and the first drop of tears comes from the right eye, it's happiness.
Oh.
But when the first roll is from the left, it's pain.
So
I
that's
think that's
not
her
true.
left, though, Hunter.
That's not, like, look at her. If she's looking at this way, this is my right side. She's holding up her right arm.
Anyway,
right.
I don't know if that's true, but
I don't think that's true at all, and she's definitely not happy.
I don't know. She's definitely not happy. Oh man, I thought I got it, bro. Feels sad, man. If anybody knows, thank you.
I think she's just upset
we're
because
just
her
gonna call you
crush
Ghost
died.
Squad, if you don't mind, because that's a lot of letters.
That is
thank
a very
you for
Xbox
becoming
Live 2009 name you got there, bud.
Thank you for becoming a YouTube membership member. Fuck. This is gonna sound so stupid, guys. I got a notification from my phone, but now I don't know how to check them because holding, like, the thing that you hold for notifications, it isn't the same anymore, if that makes sense, and I don't know why. Oh, okay. Somebody, I guess, donated to us, to the stream, from, like, the link, so they didn't do it through YouTube. But thank you, D'Anthony, for the $5 donation. I'm gonna have to set that up so you guys can, like, actually see that. But yeah, that was through the Calxiyn.com website, so thank you very much for that, through PayPal, all that stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, so I really, really like this scene. We got so off topic. But yeah, thank you guys for the super chats and the donations
it's really
and all that
coming out
stuff.
how Emerald feels. Like before,
Cal and her boomer phone. Yeah.
Before it has always been like, if anything, I have a boomer phone. Before Emerald it's always been innuendo how she feels about Cinder. This is the first time where it's very obvious, and I love that character moment for Penny that she's a very empathetic person.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see it. I think that we are going to get that Emerald is like loves her.
It is also
maybe Emerald will talk to Neo about that.
Yeah. Or maybe, I think that I feel like we're gonna talk about this in a video later, like coming up.
But remember, Cal, Ren and Emerald don't know what happiness is. Yeah, I guess that's in reference to the tears, right? But yeah, and so Emerald just runs off and,
they all jump into Trans Am.
Penny's like, whatever.
That's the second time someone's been unconscious in one of those vehicles. Last time it was Nora.
Parallels.
Yeah.
Right?
I like how they just let her fly off.
I can't wait until they go back to Salem. Like, where are they going? Are they going back to Salem like that?
They can't go back to Salem like that.
Where will they go?
Will they hide somewhere in Mantle?
Maybe.
Will they?
Maybe in the same place where they hid before.
Like the Grimm wouldn't attack them,
because there's no Schnee staff anymore.
I guess
right?
not.
So they could go in the staff quarters again. That's where Cinder was hiding last time, right? With Neo. So maybe, because Neo's driving. So it's about where Neo decides to take her. Neo may take her to the Schnee. Oh my god, that would be so funny, because you know who else is at the Schnees right now? Oh my god, you know who else is at the Schnees right now? RWBY. Hunter, what if the cliffhanger is Neo finally going for RWBY? Like, what if that's the cliffhanger for the chapter 7? You know what I'm saying, guys? Like,
that's not good.
Do you guys understand what I'm saying? So, last volume, Neo and Cinder hid out in the staff quarters of the Schnee Manor. Did they not? Like, they were around there, weren't they? It could have just been an apartment in Atlas. But they were, like, around because Neo was sneaking into the Schnee Manor. And so what if they go back over there and, like, RWBY's in Atlas right now? Isn't that where they're around that area, right? For Neo to walk away and then go wherever Cinder was. Like, that would be so super interesting because there is no staff now. You know, like, there is no staff at Schnee Manor. And so it would be interesting if Cinder, Neo, and Emerald are nearby. Right?
And they just run into each other awkwardly.
And Neo sees RWBY. Maybe they're coming out of Schnee Manor. Neo sees RWBY, and then it's just fight time.
Cinder probably also wants to get, like, because Cinder probably feels if she gets a silver-eyed warrior, then that's another bonus for her with Salem.
But yeah, Neo disguised herself as a maiden Schnee Manor. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so I wonder if maybe it's possible, because, like, RWBY's team is over there right now. I wonder if it's possible they could run in at each other. They were hiding at the academy, still close by enough that they could, like, run into each other, that they could see each other. Because, like, Neo's whole thing, you know, is apparently going after RWBY until she wants revenge. Yeah, the staff dipped. That's what I'm saying, bro. And so what if they're like, oh, well, there's no staff in Schnee Manor. Why don't we hide out here?
What if Whitley brings in food and it's like, Whitley, where did you get that food? Like, a staff member helped me. It's like, there's no staff here and it's Neo.
It's just Neo? Oh my god, yeah.
That's a real possibility.
I really kind of want to see
it's either
Salem doesn't want RWBY dead. Do you guys think that fucking matters to Neo? Neo doesn't care. That was the whole point of aligning with Neo in the first place, was that Neo could kill RWBY comfortably.
I also think that Cinder probably lied to Neo about her ability to be allowed to kill RWBY.
Well, no, she didn't. She said, I'm not allowed to kill RWBY, but you are. Remember? I think that she said that, right?
She did say that.
And so I feel like that... Oh, guys. I feel like Neo versus RWBY could be happening.
I really want the Neo versus, like, Team Juniper because I really want her to turn
I mean,
into
we
Pyrrha.
kind of already got that, though.
Kind of, but I think it would really fuck with Pyrrha if they really just straight up did Pyrrha.
But yeah, so I really like this scene. And yeah, Penny's just like, I can help. And so, I don't remember, but something else did this, where like someone was raising up something in the air, but it reminds me of very Spider-Man, when Spider-Man's like pulling the train cars together and all that stuff. Like, I feel like that's funny, and I really like that. And so, I love how she's standing up straight, and then she's like, "Oh, Dad!" Like, that was a very subtle movement, but I really, really loved that little movement.
I also like the difference between Ironwood and Pietro, and like a bad father.
Is it slowly falling? It's just drifting out of orbit. It's drifting falling, to the side and falling a little bit, right? And so, yeah, Superman, you guys are saying?
But I think the difference between Pietro and Ironwood is that Ironwood wants to control Penny for his own benefit, and Pietro is like, I don't want you to do this because I want you to be okay. Yeah. But I understand you're your own person.
So Maria's saying we have to remember the big picture, and he doesn't. I don't care about the big picture. I loved this like little monologue from Pietro. Like we were rewatching the episode to get the screenshots, and I was like, Hunter, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. But yeah. And so Penny softens, right? She's like, she knows that that's what he's worried about. I lost you before. Are you asking me to go through that again? No, I want the chance to watch you live your life. And during the reaction, I was like, there's not going to be any life to live if Salem wins, though. And I feel like that Penny knows that, right? And she says, and she's just like, but Dad, like, I'm trying to. And so part of her living her own life is, risking her life for her friends. Like, that's the life she wants to live, for her convictions and like what she believes in and stuff, right? And so I feel like that was really, really good. All Ironwood cares about is the big picture, but Pietro cares about the daughter. Yeah, exactly. I feel like that was such a good line.
I also love that they bring up the whole idea that Penny died. Yeah. I feel like it's an elephant in the room that it's like, oh, what was dying like?
Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, I feel like that they didn't, you know what I mean? Like, RWBY had a reaction to Penny coming back, but it wasn't the reaction a lot of people expected. Like, Penny just sort of accepted it. She wasn't really in shock. But Pietro, on the other hand, had to rebuild Penny again, right? I love this. I love the little kiss on the top of his head. Like he's a little dwarf, like Snow White or something. But yeah, I love this because it implies he can rebuild her if she does, but he won't be able to see her live. Yeah, and so I guess that would be the last bit of aura, right? And so Hunter and I have a theory, okay? Here's a theory that Maria will remember this. Here's the theory. We've had this theory since volume 7. Penny will die, and Pietro will go to rebuild her, but Maria will say, no, you wanted to watch your daughter live. I'll do it. Like, I will give my soul so I can bring back Penny. And so that's my whole theory, guys, is that Maria will sacrifice her life so Pietro can watch his daughter grow up, but that she can also revive Penny back. So that's my theory, is that Penny will die, and the way that she will be brought back, right, is that Maria will give her aura instead of Pietro.
I think another part of that theory was it was Pietro and he has a sliver of life left, and so Penny gets to be with her father as he dies.
I mean, I don't like that though. I
understand you want to be happy.
Pietro is going to sacrifice himself for his daughter, but I think it makes so much more sense for Maria too, because Maria has seen this relationship. Maria has been there. And I feel like that.
I don't know. I wouldn't sacrifice my life for someone I just met a couple weeks ago.
But Maria's old, bro. Like, Maria's 90 years old. She's done enough in her life. You know what I mean?
She's still spry.
And
we saw her
think about
fight.
it. Maria lost her dad. Right? We don't know if he died from natural causes or by being a silver-eyed warrior.
I'm more convinced that Pietro
Maria lost her dad. Her dad didn't get to see her, like, become a huntsman. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Maria would sacrifice herself for the family unit. And I love that theory. And we made that theory literally all the way back in Volume 7. And so I feel like that it could be relevant. Penny wouldn't be a maiden anymore then. Well, you know what? That's a personal problem. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I feel like Maria gives Penny a part of her soul and Penny gets silver eyes. That would kind of be funny. I kind of see that. But yeah, that's what I'm sort of thinking, is that, Maria and Pietro have known each other, right, Hunter?
I guess that's the other
thing, is that she's been going to Pietro for like years and years and years. She doesn't want to see Pietro Pietro die to bring back Penny,
maybe
she would sacrifice
I'm still
herself.
not convinced.
Hey, you liked that theory when we said it in Volume 7, okay?
I recall, I mean, maybe, but now I'm like, I'm thinking it might be Pietro.
I don't want it to be Pietro.
I know you want Pietro to live
It'll
forever.
be Maria.
Or maybe Penny doesn't die.
Oh no, Maria's dad was definitely murdered by Salem. So that's what I'm saying, right? Maria's soul, she would sacrifice herself for the family unit, you know? Maria's soul is different. She can't produce Penny's personality. I mean, does it matter? Penny would still be alive, right? Even if she's a little different, maybe that would be like a step in maturity. Because like, Penny,
I don't know,
Maria's
but is her personality
different
than her soul? I'm confused. I don't know if that's necessarily
You know what I mean? Because people think she gets her personality from Pietro, and that may be true, but then
but her soul is her own. It just originated with her father.
Just originated. I feel like her personality has been programmed.
Yeah, that's like, what I'm also think that it exists as a sort of program, or like an interactive.
Would Penny be the same though? It's a
dialogue
different aura.
Between her programming.
But guys,
and her
like
aura.
Penny isn't a carbon copy of Pietro, is she? You know what I mean? And so she wouldn't be a carbon copy of Maria either. Maybe there would be Maria-like elements given to her, right? But that's not how aura works, right? Because Penny's soul would be different. But Penny's soul was taken out of Pietro, and Penny is not a carbon copy of Pietro, right? You know what I mean? Like, it is, the soul that is given to Penny is just like a little boost. You know what I mean? It's just to get her awake. That's how I sort of see it. And so, it's to jumpstart her own soul. Exactly,
we also have to appreciate
and so I feel like Maria could do that, too.
I also feel like we have to appreciate that this hasn't been, like, described in great detail to us.
Like, we don't really
So this is a lot of guesswork on our part.
Yeah.
So the answer is people can guess, but no one can really claim to know.
Because, like her aura is her soul, but I think it's a jump-starting thing. I think that Pietro jump-starts Penny as a whole. You know, she's born from him, right? But it's not exactly... She's not a carbon copy of Pietro.
I agree with that.
So, obviously, she wouldn't be a carbon copy of Maria. I don't see why Maria couldn't do it. I don't know why people think that she would get a whole different personality, because she's not a carbon copy of Pietro's personality, like, whatsoever or at all, right? And so I feel like that Maria has outlived her usefulness. She's taught Ruby about the Silver Eyes. I would like to see Maria talk to Salem about the genocide of the Silver-Eyed Warriors, but other than that, I feel like that Maria would sacrifice herself for this, if she can. Because, like, she's known Pietro a long time.
I don't know.
She's, she lost her own father. It's, like, very emotional for her. I feel like it would work, guys. But, yeah, I don't, like, again, we don't really know how this works in great detail, so I'm sure she could.
This is a monumental amount of guesswork on your part.
I mean, well, it's a guesswork on everyone's parts. Everybody's like, but only Pietro could do it, but why? There's no reason why anyone could give their aura to Penny. Like, this is a, you know what I mean? Like, this was a science project, you know? But yeah, and so let's keep going. So Maria, I really like that. See, Maria's like comforting him and all that stuff. Like, I don't know. I feel like that it's happening. Something's happening. But yeah.
I like how she takes a moment to like look
down, because that's Atlas, right?
Yeah,
like, even that
really
little thing, they're up high, bro. And then you have the whale.
I guess we got our first like view of Atlas from this perspective.
So this is the Grimm, right? The ice is melting in the...
Oh, no, that's the clouds.
Isn't that all rivers of Grimm? Oh, is it the clouds?
Yeah, I think
Maybe
that's the red clouds.
I don't know.
And like the smog. I also like that that giant-ass whale is either a lot closer to Penny or roughly the same size as Atlas.
I mean, I think it is the same size as that. It's a big whale, Hunter.
I like how she looks at the northern lights. They're green.
And the moon, and then she like, whee, and then she goes down. And so, yeah, like, people were like, does Penny how is Penny doing this? Don't worry about it, guys.
I mean, I think she puts on the afterburners.
Right?
Like, you see, like, a big
and
she's
using her maiden powers, too.
Yeah.
Right? That's what people, like, you know what I mean? Her maiden powers are turned on, so she's not just using... She doesn't need
to act as... She doesn't need to lift the whole thing. She just needs to, like, be the equivalent of one thruster. is all she really needs to do. So I think it's an understandable achievement.
I think Pietro giving Penny his aura is like donating a lobe of your liver. Your liver regrows what was removed, and the lobe given to you by the other person grows into a full liver. Okay, I don't know anything about that, but that does sound right. That's how I see it too. And so I feel like that Maria would just be donating some lobes, but it would be her whole, everything, right? Or maybe just a piece of Maria's aura too, and then Maria wouldn't have to die. I'm just like, I don't know. But yeah, atta girl. And so Pietro's like, like, do you see how Pietro's like, like Pietro is?
Yes, he's very excited. Right? And then it jumps to the, I love
this guy.
We don't see his name, do we?
I like how they covered it. I'm like, you are not Will Scarlatina,
He's
honey.
absolutely Will Scarlatina.
He is not Will Scarlatina.
He is Will Scarlatina.
I wonder, and he said he didn't want to talk about that at this time. Like, he replied to someone on Twitter about it, and he was like, I don't want to talk about that at this time. So maybe, I feel like we're going to see Will someday.
Look at me.
It's not.
It's
not
Scarlatina.
Will. It
that
doesn't make
we're going to
sense.
actually see him. Maybe we see him later. I also like how the racist guys from Volume 7 are here. Gordon Freeman looking motherfucker and his friend.
Yeah. And so I like this. This is very
I love how Blake says, all right, we're rolling. They don't edit it at all.
And this reminds me of the speech that Sun gives in Before the Dawn.
Yes.
It is a very similar moment, except this is to the entire world, right? And so I really like this. If we've done everything right, then I'm talking to all of Remnant right now, and all of Remnant just fucking stops because they're like, global communications? What? Alright, Dr. Apologetic can explain more later. Well, sad news for you guys, right?
That looks to be like in,
This is Mistral.
Yeah,
this is the train station, right? Where they left.
Right. Oh,
and then you have Saffron and
Look
Tara.
At that. You realize that they didn't know
and Adrian's like, Ruby!
She's returned to me!
Yeah.
I also like how they didn't, if you can go back to them, they didn't know what
they're
John
fucking
and them
terrified,
secret
bro.
Mission was.
Yeah, and now they know.
And like they're so connected to Atlas that they probably noticed.
It's interesting how Whitley was told to go to his room, but instead he's hanging out in Jacques' office.
Yeah.
I feel like that's some really interesting, like, weird symbolism and stuff like that. So that was fun.
I also like how Jacques is hanging over his shoulder,
this
literally
was
and
cute
figuratively.
because this racist lady seems to have a change of tune. Like,
I like how that woman
now.
still has her shovel with her.
Yeah, you know what? You gotta be prepared, sis, right?
I also love, I like Little Fox Lady, Little Fox Girl. I love them all.
Guys, oh my god. You guys need to see the video on Twitter of us popping the party popper because we were like, okay, if Hunter had this theory, I think Hunter should get bingo for this, bingo point. Hunter had this theory that if global communications went up, the post-credit scene would be Team Sun and Team Coffee receiving the message. Now, the post-credit scene still could be Team Coffee, right? You know what I mean? We didn't see them here, but now Sun and Neptune are gonna run over and go like, oh shit, right? You know what I mean? And so that could all like, still be a post-credit scene. But Hunter was like, yeah, we could see Team Sun, we could see Tai Yang, and like everything happened. And so this was crazy. Now, I'm sure that they didn't show Team Coffee because they don't have models made in this engine, right? They showed Sun and Neptune because
they showed some other character that now have models.
They showed Sun and Neptune because Sun and Neptune already had models made in the new engine, but Team Coffee didn't have new models yet. So that's my theory, but I think we could still see Team Coffee like reacting to this news either in the post-credit scene for this volume or even volume 9. Like right before the Vacuo situation, we're gonna see like a post-credit scene.
Also,
they're in Vacuo.
Someone pointed out that this is our first actual look of Vacuo.
Yeah,
and
they're in the middle of nowhere.
I guess no, that's not true. In volume 3, there was a cut to them watching. So second time.
They're in Vacuo. Sun and Neptune. They're in Vacuo with Team Coffee. Please go read the books.
Yes, they're good. I didn't notice this because we were yelling, and they look up at each other and they
Neptune's
say,
just like, dude! Like, oh my god. Because I don't think they knew the extent of it, right?
No, they must be.
Like, Sun knew a little bit, but he didn't really know the extent.
He probably knew that, like, Salem existed.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't. Oh, and then my favorite, she's back.
But yeah, I'm so fucking excited to go to Vacuo. If the show doesn't go in Vacuo, I will be very upset. And Carrie has said that there is a Vacuo arc existing, but there's gonna be a detour or something like that. So buy the book. I need to to see Team Coffee, bro. I need to. I wonder if E.C. Myers tweeted about this. I hope he's excited.
My boys.
You know, and Ruby talks about Headmaster Theodore.
Yeah.
Right? So they're setting it up, bro.
It would have been crazy.
They're setting it up.
It would have been crazy if we saw Theodore and Gold Girl. I forgot her name.
I wonder where Ilia is.
She looks like she's still in.
Because I think that they're in, like, okay, so Gira was supposed to be helping with the school. So I think they're still in Mistral. I don't think that she went
back home.
Yeah.
Into Quali? What's that city called again?
Well, Menagerie, right? Like, I don't think she went back to Menagerie.
Also,
right?
because there's also, if you look in the background, there's mountains.
Yeah, so that is
looks
the
like,
school area, in my opinion.
That looks a lot like, what's it called? Mistral. I also love the idea that she just hangs out on rooftops. Yeah. Like, that's what she does. She goes to rooftops to pine gaily.
She did that before, right? She did that with Blake.
What I find really interesting here is then
Gira's just like, hello, sis, get on the phone.
Turn on the TV.
Right? Yeah, so
my baby's on TV.
Definitely Mistral and Haven, right?
So I'm thinking that this means that we get all these characters from before that we haven't seen, and they all want to show up. I think Raven and Taiyang, and I also think Gira, Kylie, and Ilia.
I doubt they're showing up by the end of the night.
No,
just because this is happening in like 2 days, I don't think that they'll come here that quickly. If Volume 9 is still in Atlas, I think that we'll see them in Volume 9.
Or outside of Atlas.
Like, here's the most likely to come based on location, okay? You have Raven and Ty. Portals. Easy, they can come tonight, done. Gira and Ilia, that's a little more like that'll have to wait a couple days, you know? At least a couple days to get a jet. Like, even if they all jet over to Atlas, it's gonna take a couple days to fly over there. You know what I'm saying? And
someone in the comments said she's a lesbian hunter. Do you expect her to sit in a building?
I know, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
And
that
then
joke that gay people can't sit, right?
Vacuo, right?
Yes.
Like, that's, Sun and Neptune.
But also, like, how long did it take?
How long is a transatlantic flight?
Yeah, how long did it take Cinder and Neo to get there?
That's true, right?
So, like,
we don't really know.
They could show up, like, right at the tail end of Volume 8.
I think they'd show up at the end, but Raven and Ty can show up, like,
immediately.
Now, right?
Because Raven can just immediately... It would be crazy if we saw Raven. We didn't. If we did, I would have screamed.
I really like this. I don't want to make a theory yet, because I think it's a little too early. I think we could probably save that during the 6-week hiatus. Mm-hmm. We could definitely save this video for then, because I don't feel like it's an emergency video, but I feel like it's interesting because we wanted so badly for Ilia to come to Atlas with Team RWBY. Yes. We wanted that so bad. And so now that could be, like Ilia's going back to save the place where, she, like, her parents died and she was bullied in prep school, like in Atlas Academy prep school and all that stuff. And she's going back to the city that, like, hurt her so badly,
in Volume 7,
right?
There's that brief mention of the...
Yeah, of, like, Ilia's parents died in the mines, right?
Honestly, the mine they exploded was that mine, wasn't it? Yeah.
And so I feel like that this could be some great, like... I'm not expecting them to do massive development for Ilia, but just a little nod to her past and, like, all that stuff if she does end up in Atlas. I think that will be a theory that we do during the 6-week hiatus, just because I don't think that we're going to see Ilia anytime soon, so it's not necessary to get out this specific week, right? My brain, so this means prismatic ponytails can still win. But yeah, I think that Raven and Ty, like, they are this volume.
I also think Ilia and Emerald is a real possibility, and I think Weiss and Ilia is a real possibility.
I like Weiss and Ilia a lot, but yeah. And so I like how, she
looks weirdly happy.
Who?
Joanna.
Well, she's like, yeah, look, the kids did it,
Yeah. I also like she's using her hands and her legs.
She's just like all the rocket power, right?
I just love Penny so much. She deserves.
I'm really excited because I feel like Ilia is definitely going to matter. But yeah, that's something that we'll do during the 6-week hiatus, just because, like, I try to do videos that need to be out this week or the thing will happen. So, like, the jailbreak with Watts, we're definitely going to have to talk about that this week.
I feel like the river,
especially.
I have feelings about the river.
Yes. But the Ilia thing, we can wait a little bit, right? Maybe Raven and Taiyang we should do this week as well. But you guys understand what I'm saying? But yeah. What else was I gonna say? I'm gonna say, just because there's a lot of people in the chat, remember that if you guys want to see our reaction, you guys can check out Patreon or becoming a YouTube membership member, and you guys can watch our reaction that way. It is the Royal Advisors
and
tier.
then a return of a king.
Shopkeep.
Look
so this
at
is
this
interesting,
man.
right? Like, we talked about how they probably wouldn't render Team Coffee just because it would have been too much work to put him in, like, put Team Coffee in the engine. But they seem to do it for Shopkeep and then Glinda, right? And Headmaster Theodore of So Glinda is in the new engine. So here's my theories about this. I wonder
Look at how gorgeous she looks.
They could have made Glinda for Volume 4, but because of the stuff that happened with the actress, they had to cut out her role, so they could have had this model made before because Glinda was supposed to be around.
That also means that
sense.
they must be working on getting a new voice actor.
Yes, and so that's basically what I'm trying to say, Hunter. If you want to
sorry.
let me finish, you're getting a little ahead of me. But yeah, so Glinda's voice actress in Volume 4, they had a little bit of a falling out, a little tussle on Twitter, and it just wasn't great. And I doubt that she's coming back to the company, right? And Hunter and I, Glinda being here is crazy. So I wonder if they had these character models done previously, because Glinda was supposed to show up maybe in Volume 4 when Port and Oobleck go to see Tai Yang, but Glinda was not able to come up. Is that a new outfit? No. And so, a lot of people are talking about her boobage, guys.
Her boobs
are the same. They just updated them in the engine.
But a bunch of people are like, her boobs look bigger, and I'm like, I mean, she's always had boobs.
I think that they will. I think that it's possible that they made this model before, but that the presence of Glinda here could indicate that maybe we will be able to see her soon. Especially if there is a detour. If there is a detour where they go back to Beacon, say because Salem is going after Beacon to get the Beacon relic or something, I feel like that we could see Glinda. I feel like there's still opportunity. Yeah, Glinda was fixing the city and all that stuff.
Which it looks like Beacon is a lot better looking.
Yeah, I mean, Shopkeep is chilling, right? Like, it's better. You know, it's not that bad over here.
I'm also a little upset. I mean, they might still do this later, but it's kind of, I expect
Guys, she always had cleavage, bro. It's just in the new character model. Relax. Don't worry about it.
I also think that it would be, I think it would be really cool if they did. I mean, obviously, I think Sun and Neptune are going to get new clothing. Yeah. I hope Glinda does a new outfit, because it would be really cool to have a new, like headmistress Glinda outfit. Yeah. I would dig that.
But I think that this is an indication that maybe Glinda could one day be returning.
Because, like, they gave Ilia a new outfit, and they barely used it at all so
I also wonder what Glinda thinks of the fact that... Also, I love how they were so insistent this portrait isn't important, but it's still in the background of the bar.
All the goddamn time.
But yeah, I was going to say that I wonder what Glinda thinks of RWBY saying that Ironwood can no longer be trusted, because Ironwood and Glinda were sort of established to have a relationship, right? What that relationship was, we don't really know, but you have, Ironwood adjusting his tie, and then Glinda, like, adjusting herself in the elevator. Like, it seemed that they could have had a romantic relationship in the past.
It is implied.
And all that stuff. It is implied in Volume 2, so I wonder how Glinda's gonna deal with Ironwood. It would be amazing to see Glinda, but I feel like that she's still at that, like, level of far awayness that we wouldn't see her until the end of the volume, because this is happening in one day. Now, Marrow actually seems happy.
Yes,
right,
if you you can't see it, but his tail wags a little bit, the tiniest bit.
So you can see, we'll show you guys in another shot.
He smiles a lot, and then hair turns it off and he frowns.
Yeah.
So
his tail is like slowly wagging as if he's happy, but he wants to control it, right?
I get the impression that, I mean, at this point, I think we can all agree he's probably breaking good. More so than even Harriet.
I think so.
Although I'm still holding out for Harriet to some degree.
And so basically, Watts is saying that the swords all work the same way. The swords are basically all Bluetooth connected to Penny. And so if one sword is Bluetooth connected, that is how it will get hacked. So that made sense to me. We didn't have the time to prepare for Salem. So I feel like Salem's actually proud and happy. Like, she wants the world to know she's here. Like, that was the whole point, though. Notices his tail, though. Well, maybe Elm will say something about that.
Can we talk about how Tyrion was just sitting at her lap and she pets him? That's a little weird.
But yeah, I really like this.
That's a little but like
Poor
what?
Nora.
Why do you think that is? That she seems so pleased at
I
the
think she
idea of
is
people
pleased
knowing
because
her?
she wants people to know. She wants people to know she's coming.
Maybe she
right?
also thinks at this point that she's already won. That it's a matter of time. That like the evil like River of Grimm and the big whale are going to destroy everyone, and there's just no.
Remember what Salem says in Volume 7 to Ruby?
That's what your mother said?
Yeah, like that's what your mother said to me before she died, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like she's singing Ruby, and she's looking at Ruby, and she's like, oh, like, innocent Ruby reminds me of Summer Rose in the good old days, right?
Is
so I feel like
your impression of Salem?
I feel like that Salem is happy.
He sounds
because
like an Easter cat in a Disney movie.
Salem wants this to happen, yes. Salem wants this to happen, but not only that, like, I feel like that Salem is, like, happy, if that makes sense. Like, Salem is like, oh, like, you know, like, just like Summer Rose, he. Like, that's what she's thinking in her head. She's like, oh, that girl is just like her mother. I can't wait to crush her spirits later in the volume, right? That's how I see it, right? And so that's what I'm saying. This is very Mulan. I know that Nora isn't the one based on Mulan, obviously, but, like, the bandages around the chest is what happens to Mulan after she gets hurt.
That means someone had to strip her down and
listen, what are friends for? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, stripping them down in Mandarin.
And so I just
look at Weiss. She was holding her hand.
Oh my God, the Nora and Weiss shippers, guys.
Oh, she's
They're
such
coming.
a good bean.
That's so cute. Oh, I didn't notice that. That was really nice. I guess this is Weiss's room, or it's maybe the guest room. It's someone's room.
Look at Ruby's face. She's
seems like there's a dress in the background. So.
Look at Ruby. I think that's just like I don't know what that is. Anyways, I love it. Like Ruby looks so impressed with herself in the video.
Oh wow, like this is
love
great.
how proud
Blake's just like my direction.
Steady
I don't know
hand.
if Blake is the one that was holding the camera.
I'm getting mild. There's just such big like poly vibes with this group.
Also, remember her monologue. You can bring an entire army of huntsmen and huntresses, but that won't stop me. Yeah. So Salem's monologue from Volume 3 is definitely coming back. I just love this like chip situation.
I love how he just has to. Also, it looks like an M from our perspective,
but it's
I know it's a W.
Yeah, so her eyes turning red is basically what I photoshopped last week or a couple weeks ago, right? The voice acting here was fucking fantastic.
Yes.
Like the voice
just
acting
how
here was
afraid
so
she
good.
sounds,
and how something's happening to her, but she's still like trying to fight through, right? And she says, "I do not know," right? And then
I also find it interesting that I noticed this. She doesn't use contractions.
Yeah.
It's always "I do not."
I think that's nice for her dialogue. Right?
I kind of like her robot.
Wow, when Taiyang appeared on the screen,
it took us a minute. Because everyone was focusing on Ruby.
Again, if you guys see our reaction, that's up for patrons right now. Like, we were sort of looking, and then we were like, it's Taiyang! And we were just like, oh my God, it was so good, right? But yeah, and then I love Taiyang's reaction. He's like, no, come back.
And I love Zwei. He's like, it's okay.
Zwei got fat, bro.
Yeah,
like,
Zwei's chonky.
Not to body shame, but Zwei got chonky compared to when I remember him. But yeah, Taiyang is definitely coming to Atlas with Raven.
Yes.
It is happening. We are sure of it. We have been Raven Watch 2020. Yes. That's been Hunter's theory since Volume 7, was that Taiyang and Raven were going to come help. And they are.
Ever since Volume 5, I had the impression that Raven was going to be a bigger deal in the newer seasons than she was.
Mark my words.
I also feel so sad about this man. This is the first time he's seen his daughter in like months, maybe like a year.
Yeah,
and he's just alone in his house in the dark.
He's gonna go save his kids, bro.
And he's gonna like. I wonder if we're gonna get a scene where he like hunts down Raven.
I mean, I don't know if he'll have to. Like Raven may be like, yeah, did you see that?
I think Raven is gonna be like, I don't want to do it. I'm ashamed of what I was, and he's gonna be like, I don't give a fuck. Because you can leave, but you're bringing me to Atlas.
If he has to hunt down Raven, that would take too long. You know what I mean? Like, that would take until, like, Volume 9. But if Raven goes to him, that would be for Volume 8. You guys understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Penny, you've done enough, sweetheart. Get back inside. And so and so she says no. And so I have to go the vault. So I like how it gets rid of her pupils, because that is something I had in the Photoshop, was her pupils. So I like how that's like kind of interesting, right? It's just like red orbs.
Just the way she says dad in that scene. It's just so like soul
And so I hope that.
And then her eyes her pupils not dilate. You know, they shrink.
Yeah.
And,
I hope that Pietro understands what's happening.
Yeah.
And that Penny didn't just run away from him because, you know, she says, like, I need to go to the vault. Wait, like, you know, and then she says, Dad, and she's, you know, she's rebooting, apparently.
Is that what she says? I need to go to the vault?
Yeah, that's what she says. Hold on, go back.
I think I was screaming.
She says the vault. I have to go. The vault and all that stuff. So that's Watts' programming of Watts trying to tell her, you know, what to do and all that stuff. And so yeah, apparently her system's rebooting, right?
And so she is.
And so it's like, Penny, what's happening? So I hope that Pietro knows.
I'm concerned.
You know, I hope Pietro knows that Penny.
Okay, so her hair hasn't been destroyed. She's burning in the she's burning up in the atmosphere, which I guess gives you an impression of how high she is. And the crackling, I love you, as it dies out, it like ripped open my heart. Yeah. Put it in front of my eyes and crushed it. And I love that Maria's like, it's okay.
Him.
It's okay.
But yeah, I hope that Pietro knows that like Penny didn't run away, that something had to have happened to her out there, you know?
Cut to this asshole.
Yeah.
Wait, go back. I love how those schematics of Penny have her with her short hair. That's interesting.
Well, it's the old but goody, you know.
I wonder if she just grows her hair. Like you see on her hand, she has fingernails. So
Pietro might meet her at the vault. Well, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Comms just went back down, and so immediately you know, he's pulling some shit with this because she's not responding.
Well, yeah, she has to reboot. Sis.
I know, but. That's Watts' idea, and so I think it's just him fucking with them.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible Penny systems might have been rebooting. And so I kind of like that. And I feel like Ironwood wanted the tower. Like, I feel like he wanted global communications up, but then he lost it, obviously, right? And so, you know...
His opinion's changed.
Yeah, I feel like that he wanted the tower. He just didn't think he had enough time, but they really did, right? And so that's sort of the idea there. Well, perhaps Pietro isn't the genius you thought. And then he just throws...
His scroll
at him, which is so funny. We're not waiting. You're going to find her. And so Winter and then the Aesops are going to all find Penny. Until Penny either responds or is standing in front of that vault, right? We cannot assume her status.
I love that we're getting a better look at her new outfit.
Yeah.
Winter.
Also, can we talk about Winter's facial expression, by the way? Look at this. So Winter walks in, you know, she's looking at Watts and she's like,
I don't fucking trust this.
Really, Ironwood? She's like, really, sis? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys, right? And then she's looking back up. So it's sort of the same thing that, you know, Winter is super uncomfortable by this situation. And so, yeah, so I think it's interesting for the Aesops to have to go after Penny. And I think that if Watts is... like having some tricks up his sleeve, I feel like Penny could try to kill them. You know what I mean? Like, maybe. I feel like Penny could try to kill Winter and the Aesops, right? Because if ultimately, like, it's under Watts' control, like, what if Watts controls Penny to go to Salem, and then, you know what I mean? Like, she tries to kill the Aesops, she goes to Salem, and then Salem uses Penny to try and get the vault open, something like that,
We also thought there was going to be a big everyone versus Salem fight. What if it's a big everyone versus Penny fight? Where, like, Winter, Crow, and the Aesops, and maybe part of RWBY, they all have to fight and take down Penny.
But yeah, take the Aesops, I want constant updates, and then they go. And so you see...
He slips his tools.
Guys, do you guys remember last week when we were talking about Watts' rings being back on his hands? They fixed it in the last episode, so he no longer has the rings.
Oh, that's
Carrie told me that it was an animation error. Well, he told me on Twitter. He wasn't like, hello, Calxiyn, I heard that you know what I mean?
Urgent
he just
message
replied
to
me
Calxiyn
on Twitter, and he said that it was an animation error, but
Does it follow you
it doesn't seem, well... I don't
or
think
you just
so.
saw it,
I tweeted out if somebody could tell us, and I guess somebody saw it, told Carrie to tell us, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? There was probably, because some of the animators and some of the writers follow me, so one of them was probably like, was Watts supposed to have? Like, the animators were probably like, was Watts supposed to have his rings? And Carrie was like, nope, I'm gonna tell them, right? And so, yeah, so I like this.
He grabs his tools to fix electronics, and he grabs the broken scroll, so I'm guessing he's gonna fix the scroll.
No one can end up calling anyone now, guys, because the thing is out of the sky. They lost global communications.
Well, he can't use global communications, but he still can do local communications. No.
Somebody's talking about Glinda calling Ironwood, but she can't, so yeah. But yeah. What was I gonna say? Okay, yeah, so we got the tools. Watts has the tools, and then he starts turning stuff off, and he also has the scroll. Yeah. So prison break is definitely happening. We're probably gonna make that its own video, so I don't want to get into it too much, but I feel like that if Watts breaks out, he will break out Crow and Robin. And on our bingo card, we had Crow makes more bad choices, and so I feel like that Watts may break Crow out on the condition that Crow works with Watts. And so I feel like that Crow has been working with the villains lately. But he also just said he made a deal with the darkness. It didn't sound like he would work with the villains again. But if they all want to kill Ironwood, right? Maybe. What if that's their thing? Like, Watts is you want to kill Ironwood, I want to kill Ironwood. Let's all break out, right?
Tyrion has a scroll, so what if he tries to communicate back with Team Witch?
Yeah, he could try that, doing that as well. But I feel like that he could break out Crow and Robin if Crow and Robin are on board with killing Ironwood.
Maybe.
Right? And Robin would probably want that so she can take control of the situation. Crow wants that because he wants revenge, and then Watts wants that, right? So I feel like that Watts could be like, okay, guys, I'll break you out if you agree with me to kill the man who put us here, right? Or what if they've already had that conversation and Watts said, don't worry, I promise I'll get the tools to get us all out of here. Because Crow said that to Robin, do you remember? Or we could kill the man who put us here. Yeah. So what if it was an off-screen conversation that we didn't get to see, similar to Watts convincing Ironwood to have Penny.
Maybe.
Right?
Maybe.
But yeah, Operation Kill Ironwood, kids. That was the broadcast. Why did we lose signal? And then Jean, I guess,
they hear
something.
An explosion. So I'm thinking, what if they heard Penny hit the ground and they have to fight Penny?
I mean, I don't think they'll come across Penny any quicker than the Aesops, because now that they see the river, they may go back to Mantle.
But then I was like, oh, is this going to be the big Grimm? Nope.
The tower was Ironwood's plan all along. They just didn't think they could do it in time. Yeah, that's what I'm basically saying, right? Like, that was the whole thing. I don't think that he wanted the tower to fall. That was sort of because of Cinder. That was Cinder's fault. But yeah, what is that? And so at first I was like, the sulfur fish? But it is just like the river Styx big Hercules energy when Hercules has to dive into that green pit to get Meg's soul out, right?
It's the Grimm ooze that we kind of saw at the beginning of Volume 4.
It's Grimm ooze. It's very similar to the stuff that Salem fell in, but it's just made out of Grimm, right? And so there were just Grimm under the sea, I don't know, just
tunneling
under the glaciers, right?
Which so I'm like, crazy. Where is the start of it? Does she have
maybe
a big thing?
Maybe it's the God of Darkness's Grimm pool. That was the start of it.
Okay,
and
maybe,
then it just went off.
Maybe,
right?
But we see other Grimm pools in Volume 4. And also we see that in Volume 3 with the dragon, it drops that goop. So I think it's more that
this
group.
particular, could this not be the God of Darkness's pool? I don't think it's
the God of Darkness's pool.
Well, something similar, right?
Maybe. I mean, obviously it's somewhat similar because there's what creates Grimm. But no, that's not a good sign. I also like how
that river would explain why the Grimm are still present in Solitas despite the cold winter. Yes.
I mean, but that.
Because they were talking about how could the Grimm survive? In the World of Remnant for Atlas, it was a point that people thought that the Grimm couldn't survive the cold winter very well. They thought,
but is that the reality?
I mean, they thought, but clearly this is why the Grimm keep spawning.
Maybe that's why so many of the Grimm are ones that burrow underground here.
Yeah, I agree.
Concept. Yeah, that's a really ominous looking. I have a lot of theories about this river.
The whale's been dripping this the whole time, maybe, but I don't know why the earth opened up. You know what I'm saying?
So either they're gonna try to stop it.
This looks like a little cinnamon bun. Sorry, I just needed to say that.
Totally relevant. Thank you, Cal.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
I have some theories about that. I feel like, are we gonna do a video about this?
I mean, in terms of the actual river, I don't know how much there is to say. It's a bunch of Grimm and it's going towards Atlas, right? It looks like the river Styx. I think we got it.
I have a couple different. So one is that, we talked about there being I might as well just do it now if we're not doing the video. Yeah. One is that, this might take a while, that we're talking about a new mountain glen. This could be that new mountain glen.
Sure.
That the wave forces people and consumes them and kills people en masse.
I'm gonna take a drink while you talk.
I don't know if that goop is gonna turn into a Grimm that then flood the city, or is it just gonna be a giant sludge, wave that goes through it. People said the river Styx. I like that. In the river Styx, you see the bodies of the dead. Some people are convinced that Roman Impera will come out of that.
I think that's ridiculous.
I'm not convinced of that. I think it's more likely to get something out of Neo turning into Pyrrha. Secondarily, there's also with the river Styx, it's like its own god. So like it could be its own Grimm that's just kind of an ooze monster.
True.
I also learned that there's in the Wizard of Oz, there's a river called the Tricky River. And now nothing's like especially impressive about the Tricky River other than at what point it flows up a mountain. Yeah. So it like kind of goes vertical. The river
Imagine
goes vertical.
the river goes vertical
so like,
up until Atlas.
What if the river goes vertical up into Atlas and grabs it and tears it down? Like that would be pretty unexpected, I think.
I think this could be like another myth too. Like it could be like Norse mythology just because of all the stuff we have in Nora. I think the river Styx though, like that makes the most sense. Like if you actually look at it, that's what it looks like. Now the chat said something interesting. The river may be attracted to the negativity. So that's interesting that the ice is breaking because there has never been this much negativity in Atlas, and so that is why the Grimm are sort of awakening. Like that and the whale probably calling them as well. And so that could be interesting as to why these Grimm haven't really appeared before, because this is like the peak negativity and it's like, you know, awaken them. I think like that's a good idea.
Yeah. I also had the idea that a lot of like Salem story is also kind of biblical. Like she has a very sort of like fall of man, Garden of Eden story that we see in Volume 6. I'm thinking like, could this be like the plagues of Egypt? Yeah. That they rain down like in
the blood river. In
the book of Genesis, they turned the Nile River into blood. I'm like, okay, what other ones are there? They're like swarms of locusts. Arguably, there's boils. We don't see stuff like that. One that I thought was interesting was there was balls of fire or like hail raining from the sky. Yeah,
and pennies kind of falling from the sky.
So maybe like having Amity crash, maybe that's representative of that. One thing that I thought interesting was the death of the firstborn child. Yeah. So I'm like, will that be
that's like the final one, right?
That's the final one.
That's the big one.
But I'm like, okay, what are the firstborn children we have here? Yang, Winter. But Winter is who I thought immediately. I'm like, oh, what if Winter bites it here? Yeah. That could be bad. Yeah, that probably wouldn't have filled up a whole video, but that's my, I think it's most likely like a river Styx situation.
I do wonder what Ruby Silver Eyes would do with the river. That would kind of be interesting.
That might be what fights it. I also kind of imagine, do you know in the Scooby-Doo movie? No. The second one? Okay. There's the tar monster, which is this big black sludge monster.
That's kind of
I imagine it might kind of be like that. Yeah. I don't know if you bought that Super Mario, like 3D...
Yes.
Have you played Sunshine yet?
No.
No, okay, there are big goop monsters in that game. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of what that could potentially look like.
But yeah, I think that there's probably Grimm, like this could be a big Grimm, but it could also be the goop that makes the Grimm, and the Grimm are slowly forming and stuff.
I feel like it would kind of be more frightening to just watch it be like a wave of goop that swallows. Also, it's really close, so I'd imagine like next episode, we're just going to see like a map.
At least now they know how to get home. Just follow
I guess so.
Just follow the Grimmoos, right?
But I'm like, what will they do? Will they go to Mantle to warn people, or will they go the other way to try to find where the Grimm goop is coming from?
I don't know. I think it would be stupid for them to go try to find where it's coming from.
I agree.
I think it would be very dumb. I think they should go back home, right?
I'm also like...
they already got lost. They don't have a bike. They're going to just, why don't we find out where it's coming from?
They can all sit on and
I guess, but you know what I mean? It would make a lot more sense. It'd be safer than they abandoned the bike, by the way. Like, they're outside without it. But I think it would be better to go back to Mantle and warn them, in my opinion.
But I do suspect they also may have run into, like, a fallen penny.
Maybe. I mean, that seems like it's in a different location, though, Hunter. Maybe. I feel like that they would reserve that for the Aesops. Not to have too many things going on.
But they did hear something. Either that thing was this river or something falling.
I mean, I think they heard the crash, but then they were like, oh, what's this? They got distracted as well, right? You know what I mean? It seems like the Grimm essence, I think so. Salem story is very biblical. Yeah, it's sort of always been, right? So I feel like that it's definitely
I feel like the plagues are not a total weird place to take this.
Also, thank you guys for the happy birthday messages. I saw a couple more, so I will say thank you. But yeah, I think that we're pretty much done. This was one of our shorter streams, but I think it's because like most of it was just the fight, and I feel like
I thought it would end up being shorter. Also, it's like the difference between this one is 20 minutes from like 1 hour 50 minutes
like
to
2
hours and 10.
Like doesn't really matter,
so, I would say that we're still able to milk a lot out of
I think
RWBY.
they heard the ice cracking. Oh, okay. Yeah.
We don't. Well, yeah. I could go. It could go either way. I'm not entirely sure. I'm
what if Penny fell into the river? That'd be so
hope
sad.
Not. Oh my god.
I mean, she's already hacked, guys. They don't need to.
They don't need to double hack.
They don't need to overdo it. Right?
Should be like the double stuffed Oreo, but a human and evil.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's basically it from us, guys. If you guys want to watch our reaction, I know I've talked about this a couple times.
It's a good one.
But if you guys want to watch our reaction, you guys can check it out. It's on Patreon, and it's up for YouTube membership members as well for the Royal Advisors tier, so you guys can see that. I do want to stream for my birthday. I'm still not, like, set on what I'm doing exactly yet. I kind of want to do something like playing, like, Clubhouse, like, with Arnold, maybe. So we'll have a Calxiyn Murder Bird's birthday stream or something. I don't know. I haven't quite put my finger on what I want to do exactly. But yeah, this, the hiatus is going to be so hurting.
It'll be
that
interesting.
Makes sense. But we still have 2 more episodes until then, so we can all relax. We still have a little bit of RWBY.
I mean, it won't be relaxing television, but we can relax.
Yeah, we can relax. There still is more RWBY, at least 2 more. We have a lot of, like, theories about what could happen next, but I definitely see, like, that Cinder backstory stuff, especially with Cinder being asleep. Very high possibility. I'm
thinking that this might be a very much so, like, a volume 3, everything that can go wrong goes wrong situation.
I think so, but yeah. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope that you guys had fun, and we will see you guys